Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. I'm having a wonderful night tonight because I am, after a long 2 week vacation, Christmas and New Year's, we are back home for the first stream of the year, right? First stream of the year. Yeah. First stream of the year. But let me tell you, some of you thought that we were going to start off 2026 on time. On time? Really? That's what you wanted for 2026? Nope. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Yeah, dude. So I had to fly into Minneapolis yesterday at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad. It was like 0 degrees when we got there. I had to, dealing with individuals. Can we say individuals? Right in Minneapolis was very fun, and then getting through there, and then finally back home to small, tiny town of South Dakota, where I have absolutely nothing to do for the next several weeks. I have about 3 weeks off of like actual rest and vacation and fun stuff, and then I got to go to shot show. I was Freudian slip there with the shotgun thing, but yeah, shot show for almost a full week. But before we get into anything, dude, I came back, well, yesterday, but I slept all of yesterday, so that doesn't really count. Today, I was getting packages and all sorts of other fun stuff today, and I got a revolutionary, groundbreaking product in the mail because, of course, I bought it with my own money. But I got the adaptive defense sling in. Heck yeah, look at that. Little micro thin sling, padded. Finally delivered it. Really slow delivery. It took them like 2.5 weeks to get it to me. So I was gone for 2.5 weeks. But, pull tab, all the normal stuff. Super revolutionary, super groundbreaking. All of the nice words that Lucas Botkin likes to use for his products, unlike anything else in the industry, revolutionizing the gun industry one part at a time. It feels good. It's comfy. It's actually comfy. Lambo says, John, do you wear these hoodies in public? No. Well, I'm not actually a weeb. I don't actually enjoy any of this. I find it funny because you guys find it funny. So like the Miku shirt that my wife bought me last week because she and my sister had a hot topic, and she's like, John would wear that for his streams and it would be funny. Now, that being said, I will wear it at SHOT Show. I bought the dichotomy of man. I bought a couple suits to wear at SHOT Show, and then this on Friday. This is what I'm wearing. Okay, it's casual Friday at SHOT Show this year, and I will be wearing this sweatshirt on the show floor. So you might see some videos filmed with this sweatshirt on it. Should be very fun. Oh, all right. Oh, also, number 9 rain of 2026. We're doing good. Definitely healthy. Richard, speaking of definitely healthy, how's your day going, homie?
Definitely not me. Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. And that would require good luck, and that luck avoids you like the plague.
No. I do have luck. It's just not the good kind.
Dude, Good Smile has a legit Miku racing team. What? That's so funny. That's so funny. Big Bean says, go to Garantham with an olive branch and get him on the show. I don't think so. Garantham legitimately blames me for the failures of his families. Plural, by the way. So I kind of think he holds a grudge. I don't know why. I'm not entirely sure why. Charlie Cox. Lol, that won't happen. I don't know. I don't know why. Okay, but yeah, he still blames me for that, which is I don't know, man. I just not. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it could. You never know.
No. Closed mouth doesn't get fed. You gotta ask. I will also record it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be quite funny. Yeah, we'll see. Sorry, 545 power. Sorry about that. Had to be done. Had to be done. Now, I guess what is this update number 600 in the Somalian scam ongoing in Minnesota? I mean, you already know that your money was getting spent in places you didn't want it, but it's like, pedophile politicians in Israel, redundant. But anyways, and you're like, oh, that's gross. That's terrible. That's awful. Man, I'm upset. And then you're like, Indians and H1Bs, you're
Whoa.
like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. What's up?
May just be my audio coming through, but your mic just went all sorts of messed up. I don't know. I'll keep talking. Maybe it's just on my end.
Hello. You ruined my monologue. If it's your fault, then I'm really upset. If it's my fault, then thank you for doing it. How is it to the chat? Is it fine? Is it fine? I'll repeat my joke monologue again.
I hope it's just me.
It's Richard.
Just
okay,
me.
fine.
All
it's
right,
just
I'm
you.
out.
Okay, all right.
Bye.
All right, let me I'll repeat my monologue. Anyway, so we knew the fraud, like our money was going places we didn't want it to go forever, right? You got Israel and pedophile politicians, yet I repeat myself, redundant, ha ha ha, insert joke here. Then you have like H1Bs and our own sort of welfare scams here in America by certain communities, right? And you're like, oh, that's terrible. That's awful. But the straw that broke the camel's back was a light bulb, Minnesota and Somali. That was the final straw in the fraud case. And now we really care about it. Now we're really upset, even though, spoiler alert, our taxes have always gone for either people to do evil things. But continuing on with this, I find this very funny. Washington State Attorney General, where I just was, I'm glad to be gone because Washington State is one of the they're always vying with California to be the most woke, progressive gay state in the union. It's usually both of them. Washington State AG warns citizen journalists to stop investigating Somali daycares or face potential hate crime charges. That's right. If you are concerned with fraud, if you are concerned with your hard-earned tax dollars going to people who are ripping you off, exporting that money in $1 million suitcases so that they can take it back to Somalia and fund terrorist organizations, if you care about that, then you're like doing a heckin' hate crime because you're only upset because they're black. Even though, do blacks take Somalians? Do American blacks like Somalians? Because I've heard that they don't. Like there's a tribal warfare between them, like American blacks, American Africans versus Somalians don't really like each other all that much. Maybe my intel is off, but they don't really like them. They don't really like them all that much. So, I mean, both and it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. Richard, Dink, how's your day going, sir? Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Oh,
all right.
I'm barely awake right now.
Well, listen, it's 8 o'clock. It's finally back into a real time zone with that West Coaster. Starting stream at 6 o'clock just feels wrong.
Yes, it does.
All right. Here's the actual. Actually, no, I had the article over here. All right. So, yeah, Washington State AG warns citizen journalists to stop investigating Somali daycares or face potential hate crime charges. My office has received outreach from members of the Somali community after reports of home-based daycare providers being harassed and accused of frauds with little to no fact checking. Now, this is another element that I don't know if Nick really got into in his video, but there are a lot of home-based daycares, which means that they run daycares from their homes, which are basically, I guess, impossible to actually audit because, the kids never have to leave. So it's not like kids get bussed in and out unless they say something insane like they have 30 kids or 25 kids or something. And so it's like, are you really keeping 25 kids in there 24/7? But we are in touch with the State Department of Children, Youth, and Families regarding the claims being pushed online and the harassment reported by daycare providers. Yes, the daycare fraud of up to $20 billion, problematic. But the real problems here are reporting of these daycare providers. Showing up on someone's porch, threatening or harassing them isn't investigation. Neither is filming minors who may be in the home. Now, this
What
totally
about if
different.
there's no minors?
Well, that's kind of the thing, though. The problem is
That's
that
the
there aren't
issue.
any minors. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Nick Fuentes versus Grandma case, where she walked up to his house, filmed his front door, and then he pushed her down and took her phone, did she get convicted of anything, or was it just Nick? Because I know Nick got like some community service and like a $3,500 fine or something. It wasn't much. But did the woman get charged with anything? Because, I mean, this is like essentially the same thing. It's somebody walking up to your front door, knocking on your front door with a camera recording. It's this exact same act. But if I remember correctly, Nick Fuentes got charged, not the person doing the recording. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
just Nick, if
he
I remember
also
correctly.
he also pepper sprayed her, so there was that.
Well, but I mean, this person's offering to charge him with hate crimes. So, I mean, pepper sprayed or hate crime. Take your poison. She did get a trespassing charge. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Did it stick, or did you just get charged with it?
Knowing the district where it happened, she was probably charged initially and then had it released, or charges dropped later.
Right. He asked for it. Well, yeah, no, going up to somebody's front porch and yet knocking on their door after they've asked you to leave. That's you should be trespassed from there.
Yeah, regardless
Charged
of what
and
you
dropped.
think about the guy, don't go to his house.
Yeah. Okay, so Harmeet Dillon. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that there were no Harmeet Dillons in the Revolutionary War or Civil War. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that. No
Harmeet's
Harmeets.
actually pretty cool. She's pretty good lawyer.
Any state official who chills or threatens to chill a journalist, don't chill a journalist, bro. 1A writes, will have some splaining to do. Splaining to do, huh? That, by the way, is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. Deprivate some color of law, blah, blah, blah. Nick Shirley, yeah. But get to the part where he threats them with hate crime charges. That's the one that I want. Here we go. Addressing the independent journalist, Brown added, if you think fraud is happening, there are appropriate measures. Oh, wait, no. So he's basically saying, oh, yeah, just use our website to report fraud. But no, there's one part in here where he says, if you do this, we're going to spam you with hate crime laws. But why is it not actually in this article? Why did they not actually have that?
If the website worked, I don't think people would be going up to these daycares.
Yeah, quote unquote. Did they miss it? Oh my gosh. There was another article that just had the full statement. Can I just get his full statement, please? See, that's the problem. Is I had two articles and I got rid of one of them because I didn't need two of them, and then this one doesn't even have the full line. But he essentially says, yeah, if you continue to do this, like possibility of hate crime charges, because again, you're investigating them because they're black and you're harassing them because they're black or Somali or something like that. And so you need to get arrested for hate crime charges for investigating your state's $20 billion fraud industry. Fantastic.
How about Somalis just like scamming and making fake businesses? That's just kind of par for the course.
Yeah, who would have known a culture known for scamming people, scams people here in the U.S.? I mean, just like, Indians or whatever else it might be.
Did you see that, quickly, did you see that thing where people were zooming in on Somalia from Google Maps and looking at all the businesses, and they're just in the middle of like the desert or fields and there's nothing actually there?
Right.
So a lot of the things on Google Maps are also fake.
Well, it was like there was a bust being done on a fake university scam, right? Where this organization out somewhere in the Middle East or something like that had given out like 19 million fake fake degrees, basically, right? So that people could pass off and move to the West easier. Great. The Office of Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has dismissed ongoing claims of fraud related to daycare centers as the cost of doing business.
Oh, what?
Now remember, the cost in this case is your tax dollars, right? It's January, it's tax season. Great. Just remember that, listen, without your tax dollars, how could they flood your country with illegals, and then, well, they call them legals, right? But they're not really Americans, let's be real. And then they take your money to give to them for daycare. And in a way, it's daycare. In a way, it's childcare because it's funding, their children at the cost of your own. Super nice. Super duper nice.
Come on, everybody in the West, import infinity sand people.
Just just political things going on there. Just the cost of doing business with you. The person in charge of the UN Security Council had a taxpayer-funded healthcare company, which was convicted of Medicaid fraud and worked as a supervisor in a Medicaid government office. What a time to be alive. So, a UN Security Council member, Somalia, of course, had a taxpayer-funded healthcare company in the U.S., which was convicted of Medicaid fraud and worked as a supervisor in a Medicaid government office. I feel like all of these things should be self-exclusive. Like, you shouldn't be able to be a supervisor in a Medicaid government office and own a healthcare company, right? Surely those two things contradict.
Yeah, if there's anything to exclude, right, if there's any conflicts of interest that might be possible, that would probably be the biggest one.
Well, that's number one, right? But then also, if you're a member of a UN Security Council, having a taxpayer-funded healthcare company, right? Because ostensibly he's part of the UN Security Council for Somalia, right? Or is he for America? Because, I mean, this picture obviously says Somalia. But yeah, all three of those things should be mutually exclusive. But just a little thing here. So according to publicly available records reporting, Somalia's UN ambassador, who owns a healthcare company in Ohio. So yeah, Somalia's UN ambassador just, of course, owns a healthcare company in Ohio. Also served as a supervisor for Medicaid office in Franklin County, Ohio. The same company connected to him reportedly had its NPI flagged for Medicaid fraud, a flag that indicates scrutiny or concern, not a conviction, but one that absolutely warrants answers. So to recap, UN diplomat, owner of a U.S. healthcare company, former Medicaid supervisor, company NPI flagged for fraud. Yeah, if this was anyone else, actually, that's a good one. Please do anything at all. That would be great. But say, Lovey, what can you do about Somali UN members owning a U.S. healthcare company?
You could not let them do that.
I feel like that's just a no. Like, just, I say that as if we don't sell like millions of acres to like the Chinese, right, and stuff like that.
Basis.
Yeah, I feel like obviously this should just be a no-brainer, but the idea that somebody's at the wheel at all times is like, I don't know about that. I feel like it's a mix, right? They want things to be bad to demoralize and to make you feel bad and to have less buying power and to ruin your ability to have a normal life and to reproduce. Like, of course. But the other hand, sometimes they're just stupid. They're just horribly incompetent. Well, now they can also be evil at the same time.
They create the problem so that way they can bitch you on them fixing the problem, right?
Well, right, of course. I mean, here's an image that kind of sums it up. I love Israel and H-1Bs. Look, man, I know we've been calling this guy a Nazi for 10 years now, and he hasn't tried to do anything remotely far right, but you gotta believe us this time. And Gen Z's looking at him like, are you him, right wing? Really? I don't think so. No, thank you. Yeah, because I mean, you live in a system right now where it's like, oh, JD Vance is like, wow, this is really terrible. We're going to look into it. Kash Patel's like, oh, this is really terrible. We're going to look into this. Pam Bondi's like, oh, this is really terrible. We're going to look into this. Trump is like, listen, Somalis, I hate them, right? You hate them, right? I mean, we got to get rid of these people. These people aren't good for us. And we're like, yeah, that's the right thing to say. Yes. Can you deport them? Nah. Can you do something about it? Nah. No, it's
Best
fine.
I can do is another 10 billion to Israel.
Well, right, because you got to remember,
no action.
What is it? Vivek and a few other retards close to it, they want more H-1Bs, right? So he's never going to do anything about the H-1Bs, even when we call it out, even when he calls it out. It's all talk. He's never actually going to do anything about it. I mean, this year alone in 2025, what is it? 300,000 deportations. You know, when we were
Somewhere in
promised
that
like
range.
1 million or something
Nowhere
like that.
near enough.
Yeah, nowhere near enough. Even 1 million a year be a good start, but I mean, 1 million a year does not defeat. I'm pretty sure it does not defeat the reproduction crisis. Getting rid of 1 million of them a year has to be more.
I want us to be deporting so many people we're using catapults.
Tom Foe says, yeah, Israel needs your support in Lego City. True. Well, yeah, so that's the thing. They have during New Year's, right? In like an economic downturn when everybody's having issues and wanting these people deported and gone. What's Trump doing? He's entertaining BB for the 5th time at the White House, and he's getting the first ever non-Israeli to win do they just call it the Israeli Award or something like that? But he's the first ever non-Israeli to win Jew of the Year. Quite funny. Quite funny. Top Jew or top guy, either one.
You almost can't make it up, but it's actually
just funny. It's just funny. Okay, if you're, you can take your whatever angle on it that you want, but you can black pill about it, you can take the clown pill about it, whatever it might be, but it's just funny. Okay, it's just funny. Now, speaking of funny and cringe, I didn't put these guys on the thumbnail, but I probably should have, because speaking of gay retards, Sean Ryan and Dan Crenshaw. Have you seen this, Dank?
I have not.
Okay.
I saw this posted, but I didn't click on it.
Well, you're not missing too much. It's 5 minutes long. We'll talk about it. But I think this is two gay retards having a no, you do it. No, you do it. Okay, fine. No, you do it. This is two guys doing a ballerina dance of not talking to each other, because if you remember, Dan Crenshaw wanted to sue Sean Ryan for things that Sean Ryan had said on his show, and he sued a bunch of other people acting like a gay retard. Also true that it was Ivanka, right? Ivanka denounced, because you have to, right, to practice Judaism. So that's awkward. And Trump was in the background clapping when it happened. So
that's my president.
Yeah, that's my president. That's my president. That's awkward. That's a little awkward.
Yeah, Sean Ryan.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Continue telling your bullshit story, guy.
Anyway, so the other retard versus the other retard, right?
False.
They're all lovable retards at this point. They're all great players of the game of politics. Okay, but here we have I love it when Sean Ryan does these walks in his woods, because it's so heckin' wholesome. It's like, I'm on my farm in the woods. It's very serene. There's a river in the background. It's like super nice. So just sit back and believe whatever I'm telling you right now, please.
I didn't know he was Asian.
He's half Asian.
Yeah.
It's a hapa. Do half Asians count?
Yeah.
Yeah, they count. They're fine. Half Asians are fine.
It's 2026, and this is not how I wanted to kick my new year off, but here we are. It's one of those times where I need to be honest and transparent with you guys.
I love how, so he says, it's one of those times where I need to be honest and transparent with you guys.
What about the other times, sir?
Like, he's going to follow that up, but it's like, aren't you always supposed to be honest with us?
Here we are. It's one of those times where I need to be honest and transparent with you guys, because I always have been. Whenever I make a mistake, I take ownership of it, and I apologize to those that were affected, whether I like them and respect them or not, because that's the right thing to do, and that's what a man does. And so what do I need to talk to you about? I need to talk to you about the Dan Crenshaw situation. As many of you know, he sent me a cease and desist, threatened to sue me. I made a rebuttal. I invited him on the show. Then he challenged me. I accepted. I said, okay, perfect. January 2nd. To come on this.
Bro, you can't ask, are half breeds allowed in Agartha, and then throw up the Russian flag? Slabs are not human, bro. Slabs are not human, dude. Slabs are not going to make it, dog.
Show, you have to sign a release form. Just about everybody no, let me rephrase that. Everybody that's been on this show since around episode 10 has signed a release form. President Trump, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Kent, lots of very important people, much more important than a congressman, have signed that release form. Everybody that has been interviewed in the new studio has signed the exact same release form.
Same deal, dog. Same deal, okay? You're not going to make it, bro.
So, Dan Driscoll, Secretary of the Army, signed the exact same release form. Mike Waltz.
So I don't know, man, it's really kind of tedious, but let me break it down for you guys. Okay. It's really complicated. Mr. Double Sean Ryan here sends everybody a release form, which is like, hey, please don't sue me for whatever you say on my podcast. Also, there's like some liability stuff. And if you ride an ATV, could be a problem. So he's like, oh, Dan Crenshaw didn't sign the release. Not having him on my show. In fact, I'm going to he says redact, but I think he means retract my invitation for him to come on my show. I think a redact works as well. But yeah, so the whole thing is he won't sign my documents. So I'm not letting you on my show. You didn't sign my documents. And then you like emailed me really late at night and I wasn't going to read it. So don't come on my show anymore. I don't want you anymore. It's really gay. It's really gay.
Show me your papers.
Show me your papers, please. Right, sign right here, please.
Former National Security Advisor and Ambassador to the UN signed the exact same release form just a few days ago. Dan and his attorneys, they don't want to sign the release form. They want special concessions. We sent them that release form on December 26th. They then sent a bunch of red lines. We said, we're not making any special circumstances or modifying our release form for the congressman. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. But we will make some special concessions for his protection on another document and send that over. Well, they have yet to sign either one of those documents. I have to have those documents signed to interview somebody. Everybody's done it.
I get it from like a legal insurance perspective, but this is so gay. The idea that like I've ever had to have some sort of release form to talk to a human being, it's so gay. It's so contract brained. It's so like my manager told me to do this or something. It's so HR minded.
Unless I get lawyers involved.
And the ultimately gay thing is it's a congressman. Like you cannot be sued for interviews with him, period. Well, I mean, they can sue you, but the judge is going to throw it out immediately because they are a congressman.
Like, yeah, so I just don't get it. And also like I've had companies ask me to sign an NDA and I just say no. And then you know what they do? If they are actually interested in my like input, then they just continue anyways. But a lot of retards just sign whatever documents are put in front of them, or they tell you like, okay, fine, then we don't want to do business with you. It's like, all right, that's fine. Cool. But I mean, like this is a big get for Sean Ryan. It's a very controversial gets. They can actually talk these things out and make it really fun. At least for the audience perspective, I want these two guys to fight on it in a room together. Like this would be great.
Watch Sean blindside him.
I talked to my attorney. I said, I think this is what's going to
happen. Jim, if it's a meme that can be showed on YouTube, maybe. I can't show any memes, okay? Because some memes are a little too spicy for this show. Let me tell you.
Happen. They are going to wait until close of business on New Year's Eve to send some type of a communication in hopes that we don't get it, because who the hell is checking their email at 10 o'clock at night on New Year's Eve? Well, guess what? We get an email at 10 o'clock at night from Dan's campaign manager on New Year's Eve, where the next day is a national holiday and nobody's behind their desk. And the next day, it's game day, it's interview time. They said, we've booked the hotel that you've recommended. Will somebody be there to pick us up? There was no mention of the release forms. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to come here and they're going to make a big stink on how I didn't interview them and how I was scared to interview them or whatever, but they're hiding behind the paperwork. And so now.
See, I feel like Sean's hiding behind the paperwork here.
Yeah,
because
that's what it feels like.
Dan didn't like send Sean a list of paperwork. Sean sent Dan a list of paperwork, and then they wanted a bunch of stuff like removed from it. I mean, maybe he is that scared about being sued, even though, again, he really shouldn't be able to be sued. Maybe he's afraid of like Dan's going to roll his ankle on the property and sue him for $1 billion in medical funds or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he might not see where he's trying to walk. He might miss a step. So,
yeah. Well, depth perception. That's a good point. Okay, depth perception is a little off. Oh, axe to grind. Well, he's not making me sign documents, though. He does want to have a conversation before we go live. I don't know what that conversation is about. If it's just to go over some ground rules or something. Again, the plan was to have Mike Michalski on today. So I texted him a couple times today. Like, are you still good for today? I'm ready to talk whenever you are. And then he's like, oh yeah, today doesn't work. Maybe next week. So it's gone from a sure thing to maybe next week. So, you know, I'm not saying he's dodging. He could be busy. He could be very busy. Okay. It just hasn't worked out. We've been around New Year's. It's been very busy for both of us.
SHOT Show coming up. I mean, I don't want to necessarily write it off
busy.
immediately.
It's busy, but I'm just saying.
It does seem kind of.
Today's dessert. Listen, okay. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. See, that's not the real Lucas Botkin, though. Okay, guys, do not interact with that. Unless that is the real Lucas Botkin. Does it always put a underscore in between names? Maybe that is the real Lucas Botkin. I have to check on YouTube. Let me check on YouTube.
I'll check.
Go to channel. Is that the real Lucas Botkin? Okay, that is the real Lucas Botkin, dude. Oh my gosh. See, I was gonna fall for it. I was gonna say, oh hey Lucas, and then it would super chat something like really gay, and I'd be like, oh damn it, I just fell for it again. I just fell for it. But no, that is the real Lucas Botkin. Oh, I showed it earlier. I threw
You're
it
fake,
somewhere.
Lucas, you're not real.
But I did get your sling in today, Lucas. Finally got it in. It took me like 2.5 weeks.
This is what's going to happen. Dan, I am now redacting my invitation for you to come on my show. I gave you the opportunity to be a man. You didn't take it. I gave you the opportunity to speak to 5.5 million people and prove to them that you are not insider trading. That's a fucking gift, I might add. A gift that not very many people get, and you turned it down. I'm not going to interview you now. I don't play games. I handle shit like a man. You know, here's another thing.
It's just ironic that this is gay. That's why it's funny, because it's like
it's gay on both sides too.
You didn't sign my paperwork. You don't get to come to my house anymore. My lawyer says you can't come to my house anymore. And then the other guy's like, oh yeah, but my lawyer said I could come to your house. Now I'm going to sue you for your house. It's like, really? It's like, I settle my stuff like a man. Like a man. Now sign my paperwork to come speak to me. I don't know. It's so strange. It's so strange. And yes, the SEALs are fighting over their stuff again.
This has never happened before.
Now, I think it's going to be very awkward for Dan to go on a live stream, or not even a live stream, a recorded podcast, right? Because it's not. Was it supposed to be live? I don't even think it was supposed to be live. I'm pretty sure it was going to be a podcast between the two of them, right? An edited podcast between the two of them. So even if there was some sort of like, you know, ambush journalism going on, or because the interesting thing is that Dan Crenshaw's wealth did accumulate an extra like 10x during his time in Congress. So if not in insider trading, I would love to know your explanation, right?
When we talked to your campaign manager, they said, oh, we send a lot of these letters out, and usually this takes care of it. Now, I told everybody, about a week, 2 weeks ago, this is what you do, Dan. You're a bully. You bully people into submission. Anybody that scrutinizes you, you send them a nastygram, and you threaten to sue them, and that works. Unfortunately, it didn't work on me. And so for my audience, what I've done is I've just exposed how much of a bully Dan Crenshaw is. So from now on, if you want to scrutinize Congressman Dan, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get a harshly written letter.
Well, so I wonder how would America change if certain popes and other religious figures will take a vow of poverty where they don't make anything essentially, or if like we instituted that for politicians, or if we simply made all of their finances public. like all of them, any bank accounts they own, any businesses they're involved in. If we just knew like live updates, like every day, exactly what investments they had, exactly what all of their bank balances were, where they spent, like literally everything, how much their Subway meal is, whatever it is. Okay. I want to know all of it, how that would change who and what ran for politicians and all that sort of fun stuff.
Threatening to sue you if you don't take the content down and make a public apology. And then that's it, because Dan doesn't have the courage to actually do anything else. So don't worry. You're not going to get sued. You've been exposed, Dan. Bye.
Okay.
He's been exposed.
He's been very exposed. Now, why does Dan Crenshaw wear sunglasses like this? I really want him to have a monocle, just a monocle sunglass. That would go really hard.
It seems like he would
really
be able
hard.
to save a lot of money doing that, right? Just break them in half and just use
Dan
one.
Crenshaw specials half.
So of course, Sean Ryan is
Actually, okay, you know, regardless of Dan Crenshaw's beliefs, how funny would it be if he was sponsored by some eyewear company and his code gave you 50% off? I feel like that's a good marketing move. He needs to get that done. Yeah, I feel like that's funny. Okay. I feel like that's funny. Zoom in on the eye. Well, he has a socket there. So like even if, or he might even have a fake eye, right? But he just wears the eye patch because he thinks it makes him look hard or something. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Badass, dude.
Look really badass. Watch one too many pirate movies as a kid, dude.
So of course, Sean Ryan is backing out. A lot of people said he would. I thought he would. And now he's making claims, false claims, that again are easily disprovable when I will show you the evidence of the emails back and forth between us. Sean, giving you one last chance. I can still make my flight to Nashville, but I've only got maybe half an hour to do so. You know very well that we agreed to your terms on Monday. We have all the email evidence to prove it. The only special privilege that was asked for was actually from you guys, from your attorney. You asked that we waive any right to hide behind the what's called the speech and debate clause. And in Congress, if you make if you make a speech on the floor, you can't be sued for it. Of course, it doesn't even apply here. But we said, sure, we'll sign it. Just send us the updated language. Your lawyer said on Monday, we'll send the updated language. You never sent us anything to sign.
Yeah, why is he drunk? Well, I guess this was filmed this morning, so maybe he just partied, had a really great New Year's Eve and New Year's party. Just a 2-day bender. It's possible, right? Sitting congressman. Yeah, who did it? I guess. Dan is slamming Goat's Milk IPAs like a total dork. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Well, I mean, listen, who wouldn't drink if this was your life, right? If this was your life, who wouldn't drink? BB accidentally poked my eye out when I was giving him a blowy. U.S. Representative Dan Crenshaw. Yeah, wrong glory hole at Tel Aviv. Terrible.
Nothing. You claim that we wanted all this other special treatment. The only thing we took out of the original contract was liability waivers on ATVs, because we're not going to ride any ATVs. Okay, and then you guys freaked out about that, and so we said, fine, we'll do it your way. On Monday, we agreed to everything you wanted. Everything. On Monday. Don't try to confuse people by talking about some email on New Year's Eve. That was from my campaign manager to your producer, just checking in, saying, hey, we're good to go. We've got our flights. We're ready. That was all that email was. Don't pretend like that was some last minute thing. You guys said on Monday you'd send us the updated stuff. We said we'd agree to it. I have a flight to Nashville this afternoon coming out of Virginia Beach. Still want to do this or not, buddy?
I like how they're both giving each other the last chance. Although not Sean. Sean kind of just said, no, we're not doing it anymore. You just won't sign my documents. My documents are too important, so I'm gone now. Good luck, sir.
It's like
but
two
I
guys
feel like
fighting at the bar. It's like, oh yeah, you're lucky that the bouncer's right there. It's like, no.
The bouncer's saving you, bro. This is actually a artist rendition of Dan Crenshaw versus Sean Ryan, 2025. Or actually, I should say 2026. That's
You'll fight.
pretty exciting. That's pretty intense, dude. It is awkward that I guess their main weapon is just being obese and they can just throw it around at each other. They bite each other, but it doesn't seem to do much at all. Like, how are you supposed to get through all that blubber?
Yeah, the aftermath. The early video is not as gruesome as some of the later ones. Some of these guys get very, very fucked up. Like,
I mean, the size of their mouth versus the size of their body and the amount of just mass that's there, like, you would have to do so much it looks like you'd have to do so much to actually inflict a lethal blow. I'm sure it tears up a lot of fat.
Come on,
But
respect our troops.
it kills them all.
It's that Randy reviews it. Oh, hey, dude. Jeez. Oh, no, I know. That's the thing. They're huge. They're humongous. But I mean, like, their mouths are so small in comparison to the rest of their bodies, right? And they have so much fat to get through. Like, their jaws are tiny in comparison to the rest of their body.
Are we still talking about Randy?
Oprah? What?
Oh, what?
Who said that?
What? Oprah? Randy? What? Randy versus Trench in 2026? Dude, you guys are mean. What? Stop it, please. Okay, something actually kind of cool. I guess it's pretty cool. We have some gun news, actually. I know we're in 2026 and we're ramping up for SHOT Show coming up soon, so we're going to get a lot of product teases, a lot of product releases. As a National Rifleman, I will fight Vintage Warfare SEAL style. Oh, so what? SEAL style has to be legs and arms like duct taped to your sides, and so you can only use your heads and your bodies to like slam each other.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch it too. I'd watch it too. Yeah, that's good. No, but here we go. So we have, I know, Weapon Outfitters, cringe, gay, softcore porn website. Anyways, Ambient Arms released their suppressors today for sale on Samsung Shop for X dollars. And this video showing how their system works makes sense as why they grabbed the front of the can in the live fire demo, which we'll talk about. Neat tech, cold air intake, possibly a mechanism for reducing sound as well, cooling and slowing propellant gases. So this reminded me of like a jet engine, but this is a very, very interesting design for a can. We've seen a couple cans use something similar to this where they actually draw in ambient air that's just around to mix and cool. So I think it gives you less flash because it mixes the ambient with the interior temperature. And so you get less of a first round pop. Because usually, if you don't know, air that's just sitting stagnant inside of your suppressor, it can be a different temp, a different pressure than what's outside. So then when that first shot goes through, it has that big pop. And then usually after that, everything else is a little bit lower. So there's ways to get around that. Surefire has their foreskin on their newest RC4, which kind of protects the visual angle from everything but just in front and cuts down on flash. But first round pop is a big, big deal for high-end suppressor manufacturers. If you just want it to be quiet, then not that big of a deal. But for people who actually care about signature reduction, not just sound reduction, big deal. Looks cool. So
looks like a Dyson vacuum promo video.
I mean, it reminds me of a jet engine almost in the way that it works kind of in reverse rather than the air coming in the front and then pulling everything out through the back. It's coming the opposite way.
There was a machine gun. I can't remember the name of it now, but it had a shroud on the front of it that I effectively pulled cool air in from the back with the muzzle blast. Yeah, Lewis gun.
Welcome back, Lewis gun. Yeah, it's funny that everybody says like cutting edge, like new technology, and it's like actually developed in 1896. It's like the Maxim silencer as well that Q copied for their newest suppressor. It's like, listen, guys, this is the most advanced suppressor we've ever made. Cutting edge, beautiful, quietest, cuts it open. Welcome back, Maxim. It's cool though. It looks cool. It drags in. It drags in temperature air from 3 different places, or 4 different places, I want to say, in these like vents. Like they look like hood canals, right, for your sports car or whatnot, but it literally drags in air, the low pressure from inside the can as the bullet's passing through. It drags in air from the outside to mix. I don't know if that actually makes it quieter. I would imagine that reduces back pressure because it's normalizing the pressure inside of the can faster, right? Because you're not waiting for extra pressure to build up. There's also, external holes that have access to the inside of the can. So I would imagine it's lower back pressure. I don't know if it helps that much with first round pop. But one thing that I can tell you is it does absolutely cool the end of the can quite a bit.
It definitely does something.
It does something, and it looks cool. Okay, I'm sure the flow chart of this looks good. But there is I can't show the video on stream because YouTube does not like it if I show guns in motion, but I can give you the rundown. Okay, so he's got a Geisley 16-inch. Actually, we should see the first round here. So keep in mind, it's obviously very cold outside. So it's pulling very, very cold air through the suppressor. So ambient temp is going to affect this a little bit. First round pop, you can see it's got a fair bit of, blow off and steam or whatever else. But that always happens when it's super cold out and it's first rounds through the gun. You're always going to get a lot of visual smoke like this. You can see it coming out of the mag well, coming out of the trigger guard, all that sort of fun stuff. But he's going to fire, I think, about 40 rounds. Actually, we got to be careful about. Oop, stop. About 40, 45 rounds through it. And then he physically grabs the end of the suppressor. Now, if you know anything about the suppressors, shooting 40 rounds through it in quick succession and then holding it by the end, big no-no. Don't do that. That's a recipe for third-degree burns.
Yeah, that's I've seen this in a movie once. Men in Black, fingerprint removal.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. But no, he holds it for a good 5 to 10 seconds with the entire weight of the rifle there, which
Maybe
is
they just
very
got a guy
impressive.
with nerve damage.
Right. or it's muted and he's just screaming in the background. He's just screaming, but they muted it. Yeah, so I mean,
the video in reverse.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But I mean, now it's $1,400, so it's not like it's a cheap system. The tech is interesting. Oh, also, I did want to say, January 2nd now, we are 2 days into the free suppressor tax stamp, and and Form 1 systems are down because now it's free, right? So people are now SBRing their potatoes and their tuna cans and their oil filters and whatever else they can get their hands on. And they're like, welcome, ATF. I would like my free tax stamp, please. This is a Diet Dr. Pepper Cherry. It is now a suppressor, sir, and I will take my free tax stamp for that. Please, ATF. Please.
Who could have foreseen this?
I know Mr. Guns and Gear. When he tried to do it on January 1st, the system would not allow him to even get into the eForm system. I'll click on it now in another tab. Let me see if it'll let me get into my eForms. I haven't been into my eForms in a long time. 2 Form 1s down, 1 to go. Nice job, Zany Co. Picked up a Cat ODB. All right, very nice. Yeah, no, I know suppressor sales are going to be good for 2026. All right, I am logging in. And it's okay. It's been so long I have to update my password, which I'm not going to do. But yeah, I've heard that it's not doing great. But it's a government-run website, so what can you expect? I mean, come on. How long did it take for the Medicare website to actually work? Does it work?
It
5 years? 10 years? Long time. Yep. Omega 9K. Very nice. I think tuna cans, I haven't called them yet, but I think that my LGS might have my tuna can suppressor in. So yeah, I've heard really good things about the cats, and I think they're really one of the only other suppressor companies that makes like a really good flow through style can, or at least a reduced back pressure can that's not that expensive. Nice. I do like that the eForm site is aesthetically stuck in 2013. Very true. Very true.
That's just government efficiency at work.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are going to be SBRing their rifles because they have, 10 3s, 11 5s laying around. And if they want one lower that's an SBR, they can now do that and run it however the heck they like. All right. And then the last little bit of gun stuff before we get to LWRC and Victor and Sig and some other stuff is I don't watch Stranger Things. I'm not gay. I don't have a Netflix subscription. None of that stuff. But I saw this from the Gun Lovers Club and I had to share with all of you. Okay. So this is from the show Stranger Things, allegedly. I don't know who this person is, but I imagine because it's Netflix, this is a gay child actor.
That would make sense.
I'm pretty sure if it looks like a female, it's probably a lesbian. So inserting a magazine on an M16 with a underslung grenade launcher. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but she charges now many of you probably are not aware.
She's jerking off the gun.
Many of you are probably not aware of the lore behind the M16 A2.5 or A3.5, but it actually used a carry handle charging handle as a system. So she's charging. Let me show you guys that one more time. The sound effect. It's like she's pumping the shotgun on the AR-15.
Hell yeah.
Very nice. Now, the AR-10 had a charging handle on top underneath the carry handle. So I was like, oh, well, maybe that's what they're going for. And like, that's kind of cool if they're using like an original AR-10. That's nice. But no,
smart enough to do that.
This obviously has a charging handle. That is obviously a carry handle, which she's looking like 30 feet above. By the way, so if she's about to fire, good luck at whatever's out there. But yeah, no, this is now actually as a really small female, not me, but her being a really small female, does she have like too weak of hands, too small of hands to reach the paddle? Was she not told that's how you reload a gun? Did nobody on set know how to reload a gun?
I'll bet that they paid somebody good money that was an expert, quote unquote, to explain to her that this is how it's done.
No, I know
That's
what
Ben
I'm
Shapiro.
doing.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Listen, I worked on the set of Rust. Okay, I know guns. Yes.
Does it actually move?
No. I don't know if I can move frame by frame on this, but it does not move. It's because again, if you look closely at almost all gun stuff in Hollywood, like it's all gay and retarded. So very famously, I didn't even Tom Poe. Yeah, that's right. They had Tom Poe as a supervisor on set. They're like, "Come here, gay little girl. Come here, Ben. I'm gonna show you how to charge that thing. Now hold my hands." Joe Armour did that on purpose, maybe. But one of the first ones that I noticed like a decade ago is it Casino Royale or the second one? I think it might. No, it's in Skyfall. In Skyfall, James Bond 2013 Skyfall. The bad guy, the foil for James Bond, like halfway through the film before he's killed, he has a suppressed Glock. And then when he goes to take the suppressor off the Glock in the close-up, you can tell that it's not a threaded barrel. And so he's just pretending to unthread a can from a gun with no threads.
It's pretty cool.
He's literally pulling a suppressor away from a gun with no threads on it, not a threaded barrel at all. So just magic.
No, that's spy tech. It doesn't need threads.
Right,
it's extra cool. It's top secret, and you don't know about it.
Was
go for it.
Marvel Ant-Man. When they
the hammer Glock,
the hammer
dude,
on the Glock.
Okay, I have to go find that now for you guys because while we're on the topic, we have to talk about that one. That one's actually good.
It's hilarious.
Just the entire Rookie show.
Hammer.
What is it called? The Rookie, or it's that one cop show where they just have horrible scenes.
I can imagine. Okay, so this is again Marvel movie sloptastic, whatever. But
guy,
this I don't know if I've ever seen this film, but I did not notice this. So the guy, the main villain, I think, is trying to shoot Ant-Man or whatever, retard is here. However, he clicks gun click no bang on a Glock.
check this out.
So he goes to pull the trigger, right? He goes to pull the trigger on the guy.
Check this out.
Click no bang. What is a Glock with a cut back plate? And I don't even know what hammer this is.
It looks like it's off of a 1911.
Top, but what about that one movie Wanted where they fling the bullets? Low-key like that movie. I've never seen Wanted, but I have seen the Mythbusters. I have seen the Mythbusters movie or episode where they debunked that. I know Angelina Jolie's in it. That other person's in it. Chris Pratt is in it when he's like 15 years old or something, gets punched in the face. But that's all I know about that movie. Yeah, you can't bend bullets, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't. That's off of a Nambu. Sure. Oh my gosh. But no, so there is ants blocking the hammer on a Glock. So there's some unreleased prototype double action, single action Glock out there because he's getting click no bangs over and over again because the ants are protecting the firing pin apparently.
Actually, that looks like a Smith & Wesson revolver hammer.
No, look at that. Look at that. No,
that's awesome right there.
It's a 17 Gen 3, of course, as you would with, I don't know who they had on set. Because you know what's funny? They were like, we need the ants to come in and save him because he's Ant-Man. It's in the name, right? It's in the name. So we need a gun that's, going to be able to have the hammer stopped. And instead of getting literally any other firearm that they had in inventory for their fake toy gun collection,
they had so many options.
So there are security guards in this film.
Oh, you're right, dude. That's a Gen 2. No way they cut up a Gen 2 for that, dude. Did they really cut up a Gen 2? It's a no rail.
AI. I think it's just or not AI, but
is it just
CGI?
A pistol
yes,
when they
CGI.
go up close? Or...
Are you sure? Because he's holding something. You think they green screened in the whole gun, like he's holding a blue gun or a green gun?
No. Right now, he is actually holding a real legit Glock. But when they do the close-ups, I think that's just CGI.
But okay, so that is a possible explanation. But why then? Why then wouldn't they have if they knew in the scene that the reason it wasn't going to go off is because of the hammer being blocked? Why would they not just grab any gun that has a real hammer?
Because the Glock was cheaper and they could just do it in CGI.
But how would it be cheaper? They're whatever the company they hired out to do all of the gun stuff has a million guns in inventory for this. Like these movie gun companies, that's what they do.
I can't even think of a good reason. I was going to say maybe they just didn't have a hammer-fired pistol on set that day.
So that's what I'm saying. Some of the other security guards in this movie actually had Berettas. Like they carried Berettas.
But that's what I'm saying. Like these movie companies, not the movie companies, but the companies that work with movies to provide all of the gun stuff, the gun safety stuff. Like armor. They have everything, right? Because they're like, okay, director, what do you want? Okay, this is what we have. We'll get you whatever you want for whatever the scene dictates, right? So surely they or somebody around would have been like, oh, you just need a hammer fired gun. Like here's literally any hammer fired gun out there, okay? And if they just decided, oh no, we'll use this and CGI it later, that's simultaneously really lazy, but also it makes it worse for everybody else.
Yeah, sounds like Hollywood.
Well, Vandalay says, because see, this is my thing. I don't know, maybe the gun really is cut for a hammer, but somebody just really abused a Glock Gen 2. to butcher in a hammer as a movie gun. So this is actually a hammered Gen 2 Glock 17. That doesn't work, of course. It's a prop gun, but that somebody did actually put a physical hammer on.
I can't see underneath all the fake ants. Is there an actual hammer in this shot, or is it?
Well, so the thing is, it's like I can't tell you what is and is not CGI because this whole shot is probably CGI, right? This whole shot, because the back of the gun's like really rounded, and
Well, the ants would have to be. But,
no, the ants are real. The ants are the only real thing here, actually.
Yeah,
No,
the
I mean,
back
yeah,
at
I
the
don't know.
bottom.
I don't know. Obviously, we're watching it like 144p as well. So, but no, it's just
Hollywood took a Glock
it's
Watching
just
the video,
retarded.
I love the
and
video
manufactured a
of the screen.
hammer on the back of a Glock. Are you serious? Are you really serious?
No, listen, man. They still use prop guns. Prop guns are a very real thing. A lot of them are rubber guns or completely fake guns. But yes, they try to limit the use of real guns on set as much as possible. Something about insurance and armor is being retarded. Yeah, they actually spent 10 years training real ants to do this. Yes, they're the only thing that's real. True. Okay. Well, now,
Sorry to
ladies
derail.
and gentlemen, you're fine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the pleasure of talking about Mr. Paul Leitner Wise. Now, Paul Leitner Wise puts the LW in LWRC. It is the Leitner Wise Rifle Company. However, as of 2026, he has not been with LWRC for 2 decades, or very near to 2 decades. So we're going to get into the life of this man extraordinaire, some of the claims, some of the wacky things going on, and why it's he's left a new company that some of us kind of liked after going off on his previous 2. Wise, huh? Yeah, Weiss. Subarctic Psycho for $10 at the beginning of the stream says, John, kissy emoji, heart emoji, heart face emoji, smiling face, heart eye emoji, smiling Chungus face, blowing a happy birthday thing, and then thumbs up. Thank you very much, Subarctic Psycho. Appreciate you. Hoping you're having a good New Year so far. PM Root for 556 is, can we address how the alpaca on Trench's patch looks like it's throating deeply? Excuse me? Excuse me? Dank, did you buy one of the patches from Trench Grenade?
No, I did not. I like keeping my money in my bank account.
I do like how he stole my thumbnail. Completely stole it, even though he shouts me out for it. I made some better thumbnails for that video. I thought, let me see if I can find him real fast. This is what his thumbnail should have been. I should have thought about this earlier, but it's such a good image there to use. Disaster? Question mark? Yes indeed. But back to Trench Grenade. Does he show his patches off in this video? Where's his patches at? Show me the patch, Trench. I don't know, man. I think if you look at that and you think of some pornographic act,
Get
I
your
think the
mind
problem
out of the gutter.
man, I think the problem's with you, bro. PM
Having
Root
flashbacks to Afghanistan.
for 556 says, and how he bitches about T-Rex policing their comments when he does the same thing. Well, I get why T-Rex polices their comments, because people like me are not always the kindest, right? So when I saw their thumbnail today on T-Rex Labs, and so I just quickly threw this together. That's it. Isaac's looking a little rough. Okay. I hope he's doing quite well. I hope he's having a great New Year's, but I just little edited the text there to make it maybe a little bit more appropriate. What should I do when T-Rex arms crashes? ? Please help me out. Vandalate for 2 says, Mike stole my trash can and dream of an interview. Do not give up hope yet. Kim Jong-un, thick girl enjoyer for 2, says, where dat wooty wooty booty be? I don't know. Thank you for the Ebonics lesson, Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un for 2 says, we was daycare owners and shit. Indeed, you are the daycare owner now. Lightspore for 5 says, I'm going to find the Discord TOS providers and have a nice talk with them. Don't do it. Don't do it. Are you still here, bro? Yeah. Did you get hit with another? A lot of the people in our Discord were getting hit with TOS violations. They won them in arbitration or in what's the word? Appeal. But Amorite Boy for 2 says, later and gayer than an Afghan warlord. Yeah, there's a lot of homosexuality flying around some of these communities. Very AIDS-ridden, very AIDS-pilled. Bryce Kibble, 7-3. Member for 2 months says, bestest, simplest, set and forget adjustable gas block. Best? Simplest? I don't know if those go hand in hand. Rifle speed is probably the best because you can adjust it, which is kind of like the point. If you just want a unadjustable gas block that you can tune a little bit, what you do is you buy the YHM suppressed gas block, and then you just open it up until it runs the way you want it to do, and then you never touch it again. That's what you do. And those are like $20. Thank you, Bryce. Small Ball for 2 says, later and gayer than my grandma's period. Yeah, the things that I read. Bryce Kimball for 5 says, I'm looking to build 100% suppressed 300 blackout, and I'm wondering if an adjustable gas block is necessary. I want to get it running perfect and never touch. Well, if you're only going to be shooting it suppressed, then you actually probably don't need to get an adjustable gas block. You can get any sort of fixed gas solution. You can get either the BRT Easy Tune gas tubes from BRT, or you can go with the YHM suppressed gas block and then just tune it to shoot how you want it to. Or you can go with a flow-through can and never worry about it. Thank you, Bryce. Appreciate it. Polly B for $10 says, I bet John's going to turn a new leaf in 2026, be on time, and indisputably heterosexual. SpongeBob time card, 15 minutes later.
Say that shit again. Goofy ass nigga. Fuck you think this is? Ready?
Not going to happen. Being on time, that's for other people, not for us. Kim Jong-un for 2 says, blacks, am I right, people? I don't know. Are you right?
Maybe.
Thank you, Kim. Focus Trip's wife says, finally, we can see the lateness and gayness in 4K. Oh, sus phrasing. Sus phrasing. Although we were late. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Kim Jong-un, she's also very happy I'm back, by the way. 2 weeks in the basement with no food supply. I forgot to send her anything. So it was a miracle she was still with us. Kim, for 2 says, late and gayer than Trench's grinder profile. No. Trench is a happily married man. Thank you, Kim.
Is he married now?
Yeah, he got married.
To a man?
Jim says, tried to join the Dick Sword. Apparently, I've been in some really cool RW groups because my phone number is perma-banned. Dude, you know you've made it when your phone number is perma-banned.
Mine is now perma-banned from Google.
There you go. Amorite Boy for 2 says, why didn't you drive to Washington? Better than Minnesota. Dude, it's 22 hours. It's like with kids, it's 2 days of driving, basically. With kids and a wife, it's 2 days of driving. With kids and 2 wives, it's 3 days of driving. So, yeah, it's a lot of work to drive. I've done the drive before. I've done the drive like 3 times, but
Just
no,
stuff all of them in the trunk.
It's a 3-hour flight, and you have to deal with people, but
If the trunk
much
is like
shorter.
a mobile
Roofy still be
basement.
quiet the entire way.
that's true. Just gotta get the dosage right. Kim Jong-un for 2 says, if you don't wear cat ears at SHOT Show, you a fraud. See, again, that's the thing. My wife is also like, you should get a set of cat-eared headphones just because it's funny. And now I'm like, maybe my wife is the weird one. You know, she says, no, John, it's funny. It's ironically funny. And I'm like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lightsport for 5 says, Mr. Thumb doesn't want you stealing tactical troon from him. This is the Grand Thumb statement on his relationship with Tact Troon. Where did it go? Richard, did you move my statement? Here it is. Thank you for that. Kim Jong-un for 2 says SDFU, Richard. Yeah, Richard. Stop it, bro. Happy New Year. Thanks for the VODs to listen to at work. Well, you are welcome, Graham Bergdorf. I appreciate that, man. Hope you're doing well at work, too. Happy New Year. Amrite Boy for 2 says, Dank, show us the piggies. No, Dank will not show us the piggies. Dank is a real man, not like that Jake character.
Yeah.
Vandalay for 2 says, you mean a people known for piracy would defraud me? Yeah, it's that not Dave Ramsey. Who's that? Is it Dave Ramsey? That meme template where he's like, so you imported 40 million people or 400,000 people known for fraud. Yes. Yes. And then you gave them access to all of your welfare systems. Yes. Yes. And they defrauded you $20 billion. Yes. Yes. It's like, all right. I think the problem is slightly on you now. Holly B for 2 says DNC is just a criminal organization. Simple as. I think you mean the U.S. government.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think all of them.
Yeah, we got lots of problems here, sir. Thank you, Polly. Polly for 5 says Dan Monophthalmus is a criminal too. Delande est in Minecraft. Yes. Honestly, people have not been talking about how much we need to nuke Carthage as of late. Right? Thank you, Polly. Toxic Gamer for 5 says New Year, same lame and gay. Looking forward to this year's live streams. Also, did you see the new suppressor from Ambient Arms? We literally just took a look at that. I saw that when it came through. Toxic. Thank you. Lightspore for 2 says, are half-breeds allowed in Agartha with the
whole point is to not allow that. I wouldn't be allowed there.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Kim Jong-un for 2 says Trench should have been a SEAL. He's gay like them. Ah, that's not true. It's not nice. Axe to Grind for 2 says, is Mr. Mahowski's making you sign documents? No, maybe next week. Fingers crossed. Maybe next week. All right. We're working on it. Vandalay for 2 says Axe awaiting Mike as eagerly as I await Nuttin' Fancy. Both of you are waiting on other man to speak, to tell you what you want to hear. I think that's a little gay. The only man you should be waiting on is the God man, Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you, Art Vandalay. Chris Bennett for 2 says the gender dysphoric is holding Mike hostage. Maybe. Thank you, Chris. Kim Jong-un for 2 says SEALs have committed more stolen valor than anyone, but only Trench has committed USPSA stolen valor. So one of those things is more important. Central Sands Defense Ben says just fight it out like men. Well, I would, but they would probably both sue me before you ever ended up fighting each other. Thank you, Central Sands Defense. Polly B for 5 says, to be fair, I get drunk before flying. Flying sucks, and I won't know the ethnicity and sex of the pilots until I'm committed. Bleak, give me that buzz. Depending on where you are, if you're really eagle-eyed, you can use binoculars from the terminal, and you can look down into the cockpit and figure out who's in there. But you'll be happy to know that I flew with a white-only pilot staff for both flights. Thank you, Polly B. Sci-Fi Cowboy for 5 says, I didn't know Sean was Asian until you guys pointed it out. Now every time I see him, all I see is Mr. Miyagi. Can't believe I didn't see it before. Yeah dude. It really is the eyes and a little bit of the face shape. That's it. That's all you notice.
Well,
it's close.
He does have the schnoz of a different ethnicity, if you notice that one.
I don't know about that.
It was a pretty big nose.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I have a big nose. But it's just because I'm ugly. Thank you, Sci-Fi Cowboy. Spec Supporter for 10 says, walruses whack off constantly. So I guess it's an accurate representation of him. Wow, I don't even want to know, but how is it even possible? They're so fat and their flippers are so small.
Not going to look into that.
I don't want to know. I'm pretty sure you made that up on the spot, which is funny. And don't you know, congressmen don't whack off. That's what aides are for. Marky Mark for 2 says, how long before someone turns this into a full auto bong? Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna you say that as if PSR hasn't already like SBR'd his glong, and now it's an SBR'd glong with a switch on the back. Thank you, Marky Mark. Zandico for 5 says, my 2 that just went through 10 minutes apart. Confirmation numbers are 1,800 apart.
Wow.
Ooh.
There you go. People are getting very busy out there. Polybeaver 2 says, Counter-Strike still has the worst M16 reload ever.
Oh, where they pull on the forward assist and it pulls out of the back.
No.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike M16 reload. No way.
Not the new Counter-Strike. It was Source or 1.6, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Oh, they're going to hit me for the music, but I'm going to turn that off. Is it this? Oh, do they really? No.
Yep.
Oh, they do. That's tragic.
And they fix it later on, but
okay, that's funny, dude. Yeah, and then they slap it. Okay. That's funny. Thank you, Polybeat. Lightsport for 2 says, the rookie genuinely makes me angry. Okay, my mom, she likes slop TV, okay? You know, it's fine. It's fine. Mom, if you're listening, I love you very much, but you like slop TV, okay? You like to turn something on and not think about it. You don't worry about the plot or, you know, some of the mechanical inconsistencies, but I've seen my mom watch The Rookie and I'm like...
something to listen to while you're folding laundry or doing dishes.
Or my mom likes to knit and crochet and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, whatever. Do your thing. Relax. Central Stands for 5 says, this is why Glock didn't win the new handgun for the Army. Well, the butt stuff shenanigans with the SIG higher ups or giving people big contracts or the lack of financial transparency. Although I think transparency is when trans women, aka men, beat up women in sports. I think that's transparity. Yeah. Thank you, Central Stands Defense. And Right Boy for 5 says, damn it, John, it's all CGI. The mouse don't use real guns on set. They haven't for years because they are anti-gun. Oh, maybe Disney. Maybe Disney doesn't even use guns on, like real guns on set anymore at all. But that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, again, they're all, that's another, like, the entertainment industry is like a perfect microcosm of our government, almost like it's run by the same people. But because there's so much money being floated around to so many different people, and everybody's either evil or incompetent.
Why not both?
Yeah, well, it's some variation of both. Mostly Fires for 2 says Venturi effect is what carburetors run off of. Yeah, I mean, it looks cool talking about the ambient intake system from the new suppressor from, what was it, Ambient Arms? That's the name?
It's right. And it's new. Or new.
Hello?
What the hell?
Are you going to respawn? There we go. Perfect. All right. Yeah, Ambient Arms. That's the name of it. Thank you, Mostly Flyers. Amrite Boy for 2 says, look at the pic I sent you on the cord. Okay. That's really gay. I can show this. Excuse me.
You're excused.
What is that gun from The Sopranos? Is that like supposed to look like that, though?
It's supposed to be a Glock. And it's a close-up shot. It is a fake, non-existent gun. The one I sent you.
Right. So before VFX, you have the kind of looks like a gun, like frame of a gun, I guess, with the tracking dots. And then you have, this is what he actually has. Which, what the heck gun is this? Supposedly.
That is a trank gun. That's when I forget which movie, but he walks into the room and the subject walks into the room and he gets tranked in the neck with that thing.
Okay, so it's supposed to look like that. I was like, because I mean, there's some companies like is it Bethesda where their guns just look like nothing, like they don't actually work when you look at them.
Yeah, that's
this is
when Vito assassinated Jackie Jr. It's a close-up shot of what's supposed to be a Glock, and the slide doesn't go back. It's just a fake piece of plastic.
Well, but that kind of looks like it might possibly work.
Yeah,
because it has
that looks
a slide. I just don't know what it is. If it's supposed to be a Glock, but it's something else, like.
So there was a what's essentially a single shot. homemade kit gun that these were based around. I don't know if this is one of those, but basically it was an open bolt single shot 22 or 38, and pulling the trigger released the slide.
Huh.
It was like a little bolt together piece that you could throw together out of sheet metal and
I don't know. Maybe it's a single shot piece of shit, but
doesn't
look real to me.
It's a funny movie gun though, for sure.
Yep.
Thank you, my boy. Chris Bennett from 5 says most fun PCC range toy. Most fun, like subjectively, like the most fun is probably an MP5 SD with a switch. Like, let's be real, that's probably the most fun. I like cheap PCCs with a very expensive buffer system. Is it the Maxim RDB? I think it's the Maximum Defense RDB, where it's the roller delayed buffer, where it takes away like 30% of the recoil, makes it feel nice. Some people like the Kinshot heavy buffers, the hydraulic buffers, also fine. If it's a PCC, it should be cheap, in my opinion, unless it's for some sort of like real application, or you're like some PCC GM guy and you want to win PCC competitions, right? But if you're just like, oh, I want to have fun on the range, it should be cheap, Or you can be like Andrew Vachon, and you can buy the 3 most expensive PCCs on the market: the MPX, the APC9, and the TP9, and hate all of them because they're all not very good, right? You can do that as well, right? And spend like $9,000 combined, but you do you, all right?
The Strybog's a decent one for not too much.
You know what's funny, guys, is the Strybog won the 2020 Strybog and Vector Optics was the winning combo for PCC Worlds. It was a Strybog Glock fed Strybog A3, so the roller delayed, so SP9A3G or whatever it is, and then with a Vector Optics red dot on top. That was the winning combination for the 2025 PCC World Shoots. Insane run. Absolutely insane run. I have that videos saved on my PC. Where is it? Because I can't show it, unfortunately, but it is a nasty run. I've used some of that footage when I'm talking about like cheap optics and how they can absolutely do the trick. Because I mean, they're literally winning world competitions from people who shoot like a zillion rounds a year.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, it just kind of works. Let me see. I can show the intro to it here. That's the winner right there. Pavel Zikar. And there you can see. So this is a 16-inch Strybog SPA 9, or whatever they call it, 9A3G, right, for the Glock mag variant. Has a comp out front. I think it's the 16-inch version, or well, actually in Europe, because this happens in Europe, they don't have the same restrictions on barrel length. So I think it's not 16 inches. It's something else, right? Has a Vector big boy red dot. I've actually reviewed this red dot on my channel before, sitting on top. And this was the winning Wombo combo for World Shoot 2025. Let me see if I can show you one stage of his, because one stage is just nutty fun and fast. And it's like a 5-day event or something. It's an insane amount of stages that he had to run. I would see if this guy would come on the show, but I don't think he speaks English very well. Yeah, but you guys should go watch this video. It's very good. If I can't find the really fast stage, then I'll just skip it for now. Okay, I'm not sure where it is, but it's a great video. Go check it out. Thank you, Spencer Porter. Oh, wait, no. Spencer Porter says, next week is my last week at this job, and I took a 2.5-hour lunch today. F these guys. Spencer, I understand the feeling. First job I had out of college, high-end sales, being an account manager, I was like, every day I was dying. Like, to get in there, to sit with those people, to hang around with those people, I was going to die. Like,
it's character building. Everybody has to have a really shitty job at some point.
This was the worst, though, because I had worked since I was 16 years old. But first job out of college, making okay money, just got married. had a wife, had an apartment, all this sort of stuff, right? This is like a month before COVID kicked off as well. I was just dying every day. I was like, I hate my life. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I'm going to die. Like, it was a literal soul crushing job. And then the funny story, it was perfect. It was perfect. Okay. There was some issue with some order that was really easy to fix or whatnot, but we were talking about it. And so one of the boss man, the plant manager, was like, how you doing, John? Blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, I was looking for other work just because I'm like not having the greatest time here. And he fired me on the spot. I was like, oh, well, that solves that problem then, doesn't it? So yeah, just mentioning the fact that I was looking for other work, I got fired on the spot. So good luck, Spencer. Try and make it out. Try and finish out your last 2 weeks. Try and do a good job, even if it's for your own personal dignity. But because if you're gonna,
Godspeed, sir. Godspeed.
Yeah, Godspeed. I know it sucks, dude, but you're right there. You're at the end. You're at the end, dude. So I hope better things are in your future. Thank you, Spencer. Polly for 5 says, speaking of phenotypes, I only just put my finger on it. Focus Trip's wife's PFP is an AI Taylor Lorenz, just younger with better facial symmetry. No, it's an AI Ana de Armas. Number 1 is Ana de Armas. Number 2 is Sydney Sweeney. Okay. That's the way it goes. That's the proper order of things. Actually, maybe that's not the proper order of things. Maybe I switch this around, but Ana de Armas is cute. Does Cuban count? Because it's like, it's Spanish colony and everything. Still European, right? Kind of. Cuban counts. Chris Bennett for 2 says, what's up with Dank's eyebrows? Okay, so the same thing that affects Hop's eyebrows, Dank just has in reverse.
I just got really big eyebrows. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, come on, you're jealous. Jealous of his eyebrows. So Bardic Second 5 says,
worst eyebrows. Asmongold.
Asmongold?
You ever watch, dude? That man's face caterpillars are dancing constantly. Just, it's hilarious.
What do you mean?
Anytime that he's talking, his eyebrows are just. Next time you watch a video of him,
I hope you were moving your eyebrows right there as you did that with your camera. So you're like, no, his eyebrows move like this, guys. And I'm like, all right.
Well,
yeah, just turn on your camera. Show us what you're talking about.
No, you were doing the thing, Dank.
I just know that his face is like a giant circle. Like he looks like he crawled out of a cave in like 4000 BC.
I think he did.
Like Schmeagol.
Yeah. Dank is dressed like the bad guy faction in Far Cry 3. True.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sabardic.
Hey, these are just my clothes.
Yeah, just normal one. Todd Dogs for 2 says, Dank, do you even lift, bro? How you feel about fiber? That's an odd question. How do you feel about fiber? Whoa, all right.
I don't know.
It's good. I need it. The government tells me I need like
diet.
Yeah, that's right. I need like 40 grams a day or something. Chris Bennett for 5 says, if you ever find the time, try a Ruger PC carbine. Stupid but fun and hilarious to suppressed. I found them as low as 400, not the Charger model. Which one did they just come out with? Was it the 5.7 Charger that they now have a really short version for? Yes. So it looks kind of like vaguely MP7-ish. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I saw one of those at my local gun shop.
Yeah, it's another thing that I would like to get into, but 2026, it's got to be post-January because these next 2 weeks, I have to finish out all my Gun.Deals videos for the whole month. And then I'm going to lose an entire week because of SHOT Show, like 9 days because of SHOT Show. So I'm going to be gone for like 9 days. And then February, we'll start looking at what to do for the channel for the rest of the year. Samurai Boy for 2 says, all large majority, 75% plus Euro blood Latinas count. Case by case basis. Okay. There's also a weight cap limit. Case by case plus weight cap must be. No, but yeah, also I don't make any videos in January anymore for my personal channel because ad revenue gets cut in like 70% off in January versus Christmas. So versus December and November. So you literally do not get paid for your work in January. So don't do it.
Come on,
waste of time.
Free, man.
Yeah, work harder. Speaking of working harder and working longer, Paul Leitner Wise, senior designer. This man has a long and storied history in the gun community, in the gun industry. And we're going to kind of go through it all because it kind of kicked up a notch very, very recently. Also, I do have to say that I've met Paul Leitner Weiss before I knew that it was Paul Leitner Weiss. So I met him in 2023 at TriggerCon, where he was showing off his new company and his new rifle. Well, I thought it was his company. Not really his company. It's a partnership using his name, some of his designs, called Victor Industries. Victor Industries was coming out with a combat match bolt with a newly redesigned cam path for their upgraded BCGs, for their self-cleaning, self-regulating piston system for their new rifles, right? Now,
you remembered the whole sales pitch.
Oh, no, I was there. I talked to him about everything. He walked me through all of the parts. I even bought some of his parts off of just chatting with him. I paid full money for them. I had no relationship with him or the company or anything like that. But I bought some of these parts to test them out. So, like, for instance, the combat match bolt was like $100, which is expensive for just a bolt, right? But it has the geometry of the bolt lugs is improved. So there's even more material around the bolt lugs. And the extractor is also redesigned. So the extractor does not fit on normal bolts because it's bigger, it's larger, it has more contact surface on the rim of the case, it provides better clamping, all of this stuff. So it has like some nice components to it. Their cam path is a little longer on their bolt carrier groups, which slows the unlock process, which is like, in theory, sounds nice, sounds good, right? Not a huge problem. And so, yeah, I bought some parts off of this and I have some of them. I've used them. In fact, almost if you watch any of my FRT videos last year, the bolt that is in that gun is the combat match bolt because it's like super durable, really high quality, way better extraction. So that's the bolt. I was like, okay, that's going to go in the gun that's going to be shot, full semi-auto as much as possible. That's going in that gun. That's where that bolt has lived, and it's done really well. Some other interesting factoids that I was not aware of is that Paul Leitner Weiss takes LWRC and Sig Sauer to court. This is a old article from Recoil a decade ago now, which hurts me to say, a decade ago now in 2016.
Oh.
Paul, I know.
2016 was 4 years ago, guys.
Yeah, I know. Paul Leitner Weiss, principal of Leitner Weiss Manufacturing and the LW in the original LWRC, because again, LWRC, I didn't realize this, was Leitner Weiss Rifle Company. So he is literally the LW in LWRC, which I love LWRC rifles. We'll get into some of his nomenclature later, but he considers his LWRC rifles to be quote unquote Mark IV variants of his rifles. And then the Victor rifles, he considers those to be the Mark V of his own rifles because they are kind of some of his designs and patents, right? Mostly or in part, most of these lawsuits that we're going to get into and some of the more disputes that we're going to get into later that just happened are also about patents, infringements, or lack thereof. And yeah, I love my LWRCs. I want to buy another one because anytime I remember that I don't have one, I feel sad. Filed a lawsuit yesterday against Sig Sauer and LWRC International in federal court in Maryland. Anyone with a passing interest in the firearms industry is aware of the animosity between Leitner Weiss and LWRC because, spoiler alert, we're going to get into some old forum posts, but they did not like each other. But adding Sig to the mix is a surprising twist. Leitner Weiss asserts his self-cleaning gas operating system for a firearm patent against both defendants. He's also making claims against LWRC for unjust enrichment and a breach of contract. Interestingly, Leitner Weiss's complaint calls out more than just patent infringement. We find it deeply troubling that two major firearms manufacturers can predicate the entire success of their piston rifles upon a patent which was assigned without the inventor's knowledge and to which they have never paid a penny in royalties, said Matthew LaFonde, the attorney representing Leitner Weiss. I'm just going to call him LW. According to patent law expert and Recoil legalese interpreter, the patent issue relates to a self-regulating short-stroke piston operating system for an AR-15 type rifle. The suit takes aim at LWRC and Sig Sauer products, including the LW self-regulating short-stroke piston system, and the complaint specifically mentions over a dozen different rifle and pistol models, including the ICA-5, which you can still buy today, and the SIG MCX rifle, right? So this style of operating system, again, nearly a decade later, is still, the bones of it are still being used by two of the bigger military companies out there. Well, LWRC is not that big of a military company, but they do have some cool contracts. And here's the twist. The complaint points to a alleged conspiracy between LWRC and SIG. According to the complaint, LW was employed with the LWRC company until October 2006, 20 years ago, at which point in time, he assigned his patents and interests to that company for a specified royalty on certain products. Then in 2008, LWRC assigned the patent. LWRC assigned the patent to LWRC International. So they're taking it from their American company to the international company because, of course, they do business all around the world. Leitner Wise alleges that the assignment is void due to an issue with the incorrect inventorship identification made by the LWRC company in the assignment papers. Fast forward to 2011, and LWRC sues SIG for infringement of that same patent. So this is where it gets into a weird circle sue, I guess. So as explained in the complaint, during a 2011 case, 6 Hour uncovered the defective patent assignment and informed LWRC International. As a result of that information, asserts Leitner Wise, both LWRC International and 6 Hour conspired to discontinue such litigation amicably as to avoid further disclosure of the fraudulent 2008 assignment and to continue such patent infringement unimpeded. So what LW, Leitner Wise himself, is alleging is that LWRC sued SIG because SIG was infringing on their patent. SIG comes to them and says, well, actually, you can't sue us on this patent because you didn't set it up properly. And if you sue us, LW, Leitner Wise, can come back and sue you. Because if it keeps going back because it was improperly transferred, improperly set up, whatever, like he has grounds to stand on. So you should stop suing us. So he's alleging, this is his allegation, that you should not sue us. Otherwise, you yourself could be sued. Right? Yeah. As Cody says, everything is just a damn 180. But again, LW, Leitner Wise, did actually get the patents for him, but he also transferred them to LWRC. Those two things are true. So he was awarded the patents and transferred them to LWRC. No, I know. We're going to get to that. But remember, don't worry about it. We're not there yet. We're back in 2016, okay? We have not made it to 2025 yet. We're not there.
Still got 10 years to go.
Hans Blitz says, I won a third of $1,000,000 for my first job minus attorney's fees? Based? Okay, you're good.
Man.
Sorry, Tix Bomber. See, I always interrupt the chat having their own conversations, which I feel bad because they're fighting with each other and then I pull something up out of context. I know it happens. All right. So reached by phone, LWR David Galladay declined to comment, as did 6 Hour Jordan Hunter. With the filing Mr. Leitner Wise complaint and assuming defendants have been served, they will have a few weeks to file an answer with the court. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the chase on this 2016 lawsuit. So the plaintiff, Paul Andrew Leitner Wise, claimed that LWRC International and SIG infringed on his 2004 patent for a self-cleaning gas operating system for a firearm. Leitner Wise founded a company, Leitner Weiss Rifle Company, LWRC, which he sold in 2005, right? So he made the patent in 2004, sold the company in 2005, transferred ownership rights of the patents in 2006, 2008, somewhere around there. After leaving in 2006, he assigned the patent rights to LWRC, which subsequently transferred those rights to LWRCI, which may or may not have been correct. Leitner Weiss alleged he was entitled to royalties upon the patent's use, but the defendants contended that he waived those rights in his termination agreements and other contracts. He filed the suit in 2016, alleging patent infringement, breach of contract, and unjust enrichment. The defendants filed motions to dismiss or for summary judgment. The court ultimately ruled on the motions without a hearing. Skipping down to the rule, a patent holder who assigns his rights in the patent cannot later claim infringement or seek royalties associated with that patent. So LW, Paul Leitner Weiss, lost the ruling. Without even a hearing, which is really bad. If the judge can give you a motion to dismiss just based upon like the preliminary evidence and it doesn't need to look into it further, it looks really bad for you. So Paul Leitner Weiss lost it right away, basically. You can go into more of the reasoning and some of the other stuff in this, but he lost right away. And I mean, you can go through the entire court documents, which I did pull up because they're just really easy to find. All this stuff is super nice. And the judge has a much longer explanation of why he doesn't think that PWL should win. And so, yeah. Now, here is a archived thread Paul Leitner Weiss back to spamming the gun boards again from 2007. Okay. So this is posted by a member of LWRC staff. Okay. Members of the staff here at LWRC had a sneaking suspicion that member Moose on this forum was actually PLW. This has been confirmed. More on this later in the post. It appears he has been operating on almost all of the other firearm forums under the name B. Godin. His alias this time is Brian Godin. A supposed General Dynamics executive consultant. Of course, GD has no such person. I almost wish they did. Other than his public posts, he has been up to a lot of funny business by personal message and instant message on the various boards, and those have been streaming into us here. If he has duped you into a conversation, we would appreciate you forward copies of your communication with him to me, Darren at LW Rifles. This guy needs to go to jail for good. And this is a member of LW. Bro. Wow. All right, Darren. This guy needs to go to jail for good.
Big
and this is a decade before they sued him, by the way. Before he sued them. This is a decade before. I am so disappointed in our legal system thus far. It seems they do not care much about white-collar criminals like PLW. Okay, he's going to use the acronym PLW. I'm also going to use the acronym PLW. Funny enough, most comments I get is, how can this guy be this stupid to do this again from his home IP address? The answer is he thinks everybody else is too stupid to figure out. The IP address, which I don't think I'm doxing PLW since this was 2 decades ago, but just in case, don't look up that IP address. When you search yeah, hopefully. When you think of the location for the IP, the little yellow pin, interesting, almost always sticks out of the roof of his house. I passed on the IP address to AR15.com, and the IP is a match for PLW's shill accounts and the USS SOCOM officer hip-fired gun. And the other shill accounts he set up. It appears as though this zebra cannot change his stripes and continue to manipulate, to deceive people, and get himself in trouble. That is his choice. He will surely wear a uniform with stripes on it one day if he continues to engage in these types of activities. I thought you guys deserved to know he has been communicating with members on other boards like the famed Loomis Farms, filling his angry head with BS information. He has manipulated others in this industry. The reading has been enjoyable. Please send us your famous PLW/Moose IMs. So if you're not familiar,
07.
PLW was talking to everybody under a spoof account, dragging and lying about, allegedly dragging and lying about LWRC after his leaving, and talking up his own personal company. So he was pretending to not be himself, dragging down every other company in the industry, and doing his own self-promotion, right? And so when LWRC discovered this, like, who's this guy doing this? And then they check his IP address and it matches his home address. And they're like, oh, it's just Paul. It's just Paul. And the allegation list against Paul from LWRC is very long, very long. So now fast forward a decade. We are now at the most recent point in time in 2017. So Leitner Weiss, his own personal company, is going out of business. This is his retail crowd, blah, blah, blah. Someone has an axe to grind. Funny that that's also a gentleman in our chat. And now Vanessa has had enough of Paul. So this is Vanessa, VY, who is related to LWRC, worked for LWRC, one of the people there. I'm not exactly sure of her exact position there. So Vanessa Vi, who is mentioned extensively on that site, posted this to Facebook recently. Everyone asks me about www.carbonitefinish.com, so let me set the record straight on it. It is about 85% true, and I am sadly dragged into the mess. I found out the truth about the person who put it up, Mark Mueller, who is equally a con man as Paul. Mark did some pretty impressive homework, but it is not all accurate. I have more of the facts, though not just an angry man who got conned by a con man and went on a rant. Since Leitner Weiss Manufacturing was sponsoring Paul's immigration up until 2 years ago, after he sent in fraudulent tax returns to show there was money to pay for his immigration, that is, we stopped. An interesting little thing here is Paul. Let me pull this up. Paul, where are you? All right, here you are. So Paul, this is from his Weebly. I don't know if this is just like an archive of his old website because of his old Leitner Weiss website, but this is him. He founded his first design company in the UK in the early 90s. it's important to remember that he was a UK citizen, not an American citizen. So when he was wanting to immigrate to America, he used his company, Leitner Weiss, to sponsor himself. So he literally sponsored himself to become an American citizen.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, it's funny, right? And then they're alleging that he also lied on his tax returns about how much money he was making in America and how much money he had to pay for this immigration. Now, to be clear, like, listen, I wish every single person who came to the U.S. had this difficult of a road where they had to have a company and big money in the U.S. to immigrate. Because if that were true, we would eliminate like 99% of our immigration right there, okay? I know you would still get a few coming through, and it would mostly be like Chinese and a few high-end Europeans, which is like, okay, I'll take that trade. I'll take that trade any day of the week. Give me rich Chinese people over Somali scammers any day of the week, okay? I'm just going to say it. Just going to say it, you know? Give me those guys. I'll take them, okay?
Controversial.
Not even controversial. I'll take the guys with money, okay, over the guys without. But that is allegedly who we're dealing with here with PLW, Paul Leitner Weiss. Okay, my life has been ruined by him and by people who have no clue of the abuse and gaslighting I went through. I always said he was an actual employee, he would have been fired. I always said if he was an actual employee, he would have been fired long ago, since all he did in the office was sit on Facebook and never try to help sell these designs he cared so much about. Why we had him on as a consultant. So what I've learned is that Paul embezzled money from a prestigious company called Parker Hale in London, setting up posters with his wife and a friend of hers, and said, hey, I'm going to set up a booth at SHOT to promote our products. Turns out that booth ended up being a Leitner Weiss rifle company booth, not whatever company that he was actually working with. So he takes all this money from one company that he's working for at the time in London to set up his own rifle booth at SHOT Show. And this is like SHOT Show 2016, 2017, 2018, somewhere in that time frame, right? Very funny. Kind of based, honestly, okay? Steal some UK company's money to set up a booth at SHOT Show for your American company. All right, kind of based. All right, turns out that booth ended up being a Leitner Weiss Rifle Company booth, LWRC. So he is wanted back in the UK for questioning, at least this is what he told me at one time, for credit card fraud his boss was doing. What that means is credit card fraud or embezzling that I was doing, allegedly, okay? Which is why he can't return to the UK, because he's wanted there, which is very funny. After I found a post online about him being wanted for firearm-related crime, yeah, you know, all right. Firearm-related crime, kind of funny. I was fed the credit card story. Paul always has a good response, and he was a good talker. And again, I met him in 2023, talked to him for like 15, 20 minutes about his stuff on the floor at TriggerCon with the Victor guys. And it was a really great story, really convincing. Every question I had about the specifics of how his stuff worked, he had a good answer for it all. So he can talk. Charismatic guy, okay? I was for the Paul always has a good response, just like I am sure he will for this post, but I'm tired of being blackmailed and threatened. Something attempted nearly a year ago by saying he would have me criminally prosecuted for some made-up BS if I ever said anything negative about himself, his wife, or not fix his immigration. Because again, during this time, he's still immigrating to the U.S. So if he has any trouble in the U.S., that would look really bad on him and get him not immigrated here. Because again, it's a long process to do it legally. Like, I get the complaints of people who are pro-immigration, like, oh, it takes so long to do it. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, make it 10 years, make it 20 years, okay? Make it cost $1 billion. I don't care. But yeah, it is a long time. Well, I am not going to. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to quickly say we should only accept like a few thousand people a year. We don't need. We've accepted far too many people.
Yeah. Well, I like how DHS posted the other day. It's like America after we deport 100 million people, and it's like, you know, this utopian, like really nice 1950s mural or something. But it's like, well, you've only deported 300,000 this year, so that's just never going to happen, bro. You know, that'd be a nice thought, but, you know, good luck.
Pump up those numbers, bud. Come on.
All right, so well, I'm not going to prison for immigration fraud, which is a crime, but See, that's the funny thing too. Immigration fraud would go after somebody like this, some like, mid-tier, maybe not high enough to be able to pay off politicians, but they'd almost never go off like the low tier, millions and millions of people who lie about immigration, right? Or the Somali fraud, or like the really high end stuff as well. Like nobody's going after Ilhan Omar, even though she should be deported. Like Ilhan Omar lied about it, faked her brother getting in by marrying him. Like this stuff, like she needs to be deported. Like she's not American. She's broken the legal system. She should be deported, but it's just not going to happen. Dub White says deport Dank. Hey, Dank was born here at least. Okay. All right. We can't get rid of him yet. Okay.
Come on. My family's been here since the 1700s.
Says, while I'm not going to prison for immigration fraud, and the attorney wasn't about to lose his bar license who was on the case. So he walked once I told him about the fraud. Yeah. Wise attorney. ICE then told me Paul had not been updating. So this is funny that ICE is involved in this back in 2017 or before 2017. ICE then told me Paul had not been updating his home address, so I helped them out with that. And I later hired an immigration attorney not connected to him to evaluate the whole case. And they said, based on the denials prior, that immigration was accusing Paul of starting his own companies to gain citizenship, so they were not going to approve it. Yeah, so at some point along the way, these immigration figured out, oh, he was sponsoring his own immigration via companies he started in the U.S. That's funny. Paul was arrested in 2006. Remember, this is when he left LWRC in 2006. Paul was arrested in 2006 by an LWRC CEO for what he had told me at the time, that LWRC had accused him of embezzling his own salary. Not sure how one does that, but he plays the victim card very well, and if you ever question him, he will turn around, gaslight, and make you feel bad for even questioning him. That's right. It's gaslight. There's 3 G's. There's 3 G's that you have to do. It's gaslight, girl boss, and there's another one. There's 3 G's. Gaslight and girl boss are 2 of them, okay? But that's what you got to do. Gay. He plays the victim card very well, and if you ever question him, he will turn around, gaslight, and make you feel bad for even questioning him. Me and our company engineer, Dave, went through this a lot with Paul, and he is damn believable. So what I have found out over the past few weeks by original shareholders that he did embezzle money, but I did not know to what extent and the amount. The one shareholder later cut a deal to get him out of ICE deportation proceedings to get Paul to pay the money back. So Paul is lobbying his own shareholders at LWRC to get him out of ICE deportation proceedings, just so he pays back the money that he embezzled to LWRC, which again is his own company that he sold the year prior. The company he founded. Reason his record got expunged, but still shows he was arrested in the attachment. So that is not what I was told. As Carbonite Finish website says, Paul does pay for his Twitter followers. I was told all my followers were because he tweeted out to the Twitter universe to follow his new business associate, Vanessa V. He uses a company called Devumi blah, 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 to grow his fan base. So that part of Carbonite Finish is true. The op-rod system was not his, as the website says. The .499 was not his design either, but who this design is taken from, I am getting conflicting information. What my engineer revealed to me was that Paul had him reverse engineer most of our products off of LWRC, Lightner Wise and LWRC, and just change the outside design to become different. Our E-sites were reverse engineered from LWRC sites and just shaved the F down a lot to become what they are now. He told me he had 2 years of pre-med, went to NYU, and owned a very large design agency. He later sold for a lot of money. And he was an engineer. He later admitted to me he was not an engineer, just a designer. We know lots of engineers, quote unquote, that build things, but they're really just designers. Just what the wiki entry for our office assistant wrote for him located here. He was not a Royal Marine or a race car driver, which again is part of the lore of PLW, or work on guns prior to coming to the U.S. since he did not file for his EV1 immigration. All right, Dank, who does this sound like?
Alex?
No, it sounds like Hawkeye, dude.
Oh, shit.
Hawkeye's got a story for everything, bro. Hawkeye's got a story for everything. Royal Marine, race car driver. Hawkeye was a pilot and a NASCAR driver, which I think is confirmed. I think he's confirmed that. So it's funny that this and Hawkeye's also, he's like, oh, not an engineer, but he is a designer, and he's trying to get through his stuff. Yeah, dude. I as long as he doesn't embezzle.
Buy carbon fiber right now. That's all I'm gonna say about this.
Hawkeye is a NASCAR driver. Was a NASCAR driver. I think that's confirmed. Hawkeye was a NASCAR driver. But again, Hawkeye's the type of guy, like, his story, insane. Okay, insane. But he's got some photos and stuff to back it up. So, LW not so much, or PLW not so much. All right, so coming to the US. So he says so in this article, she's saying that this forum post, sorry, says that he never worked on guns prior to coming to the US. In his own biography, he's like, oh yeah, I founded my first design company in the early 90s and developed my first firearm in the 1980s. So somebody's lying here. And not
Also,
saying who my money's on, all right? But it's definitely one of them.
Yeah, didn't it earlier we were going over it, didn't he get firearms related charges supposedly in the UK?
UK? Yeah.
Which, hey, maybe
So-
he just took a photo in America with a gun.
It's PLWK for Loki too. Yeah, I haven't asked him. Something tells me he's part of a different tribe. So not Loki, but or work on guns prior to coming to the US, since we did file for his EB1 for immigration employment sponsorship. Well, one of our quote unquote partners did, who was a minority shareholder. We found out he never went to college. The last school he attended was a Catholic high school in England. Weird, since he told me he grew up in Beirut and his father was killed by a Palestinian terrorist. That's interesting.
He Jewish?
I don't know. Everyone who has come forward and has called the FBI on the case that is forming now on Paul told me when they met in person with him, he would tell them I knew about his past and he was just around to be the bad boy drinking whiskey face of the company. While I ran the business, since so many would no longer do business with him, but would do with me. Most say, who I have spoken with, that we liked Paul's storytelling and left it at that, and called him a friendly sociopath that you have some fun with and then leave. So Carbonite Finish was a website we used to market Carbonite at the time with Stephen Mark Mueller from the Elite Tactical Advantage, who was running some big machine shop in Wisconsin and making parts for us. I was told he got sweat equity once he reached $360,000 in product made for Lettner Weiss Manufacturing. So now I am a witness in the case with witness protection against Mark in Appleton, Wisconsin. Wow. Since it turned out Mark was just a broker who used machine shops and heat treaters and never paid the bills. Attached is that suit as well. I had to drag Paul in his Jeep and drive to Wisconsin to figure this all out with the help from my private investigator. I was later told by the lawyer on the case that a previous judgment from A to Z Machining for Mark Mueller in Wisconsin was paid for by Paul Leitner Wise at 917 Juniper Place for $80K. So when it comes to embezzlement with company funds, we aren't sure just how much went out, not sure what our CFO was doing to monitor the account, ... Maybe was just too wrapped up with his other businesses to be bothered. So this is like classic stealing money from Bob to pay Larry, or whatever sort of nonsense this is. He's got so many pins in the fire, and he's got like millions of dollars floating and only ever coming up with a little bit here or there. But no, it's not a slow gun drama day. We're still working up to the present day. We're not even there yet. We have more to talk about because, of course, his newest company, Victor, he's also split with as of like a month ago. So after I packed up the office in Alexandria, Virginia, due to the company being so broke we could not pay rent anymore, I stored everything in the storage unit. Paul was instructed to later drive it all to me when the office was set up where we were going to move next. Instead, he decided to take all the upper receiver inventory and what he claims store it at his attorney's garage so it was safe from judgment collections. He landed us in a civil suit with some company I never did business with over his shot glasses. I was okay with that at first because I did not want anyone taking property that belonged mainly to customers who pre-ordered uppers. He made threats that I had no choice, and he was taking the property and having more product made to sell it with some business by the name of Cardiff Sterling. And I could be part of it or sit on the sidelines. Weird. It wasn't his to take in the first place. Our handguards were made by a unique extrusion, and the bill was about $40K. And he told the owners I was his girlfriend and must have forgot to send the check. The owner called me personally after I had to let him know that there was no IP on the handguard. The excuse he gave to not return the faulty parts back to Unique. That's funny because I've Unique Firearms. They did. They actually sent me a rifle after the whole debacle with what was it? They actually reached out to me after Lead and Steel threatened me, and they're like, "Oh, those guys suck. You want a rifle?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." That was back when I was still accepting rifles from people, so they actually sent me a rifle. I called it Stockholm Syndrome lately. I was hoping I would eventually get company property back, finish machining the job, and get orders delivered. Now, Vanessa, you sound nice, okay? But I don't want to be mean here, but maybe he's just a master of manipulation, but you also seem kind of naive. And I think that's being nice, but you seem to be a little naive. All right.
This guy sounds really cool.
We're almost done, gentlemen. We're almost done. Towards the end of the beginning in Virginia, I ended up crashing on the office floor for a few months until I moved back home. A good friend of mine said I needed to get away and be somewhere safe. So I did just that. Customer paid pre-orders, and he told one he would not return the property to me because I would sell it and they would never get their order. Well, 2 years of customers waiting, they pretty much knew he was still full of it. Yeah, no, you don't say. So I saved the logs out of all their Facebook messages. He has filed 8 bankruptcies, something that the court was shocked to find out. My private investigator pulled a pretty extensive background check on him recently, and it's pretty telling. Scotland Yard introduced me to people at Interpol to discuss his crimes in 1990. He has done this to about 5 companies, and luckily I never got an investor into Leitner Wise Machining. Or put a S-ton of money in because I am sure that too would have been gone. I doubt he is done. He will continue, foreshadowing. If not, finally stopped. Last company said he was in quicksand. They were shocked when we saw him with you. The bank statements for the last company I have obtained, it shows a lot of embezzlement between a PNC bank and a SunTrust bank account. Mothers are always right, blah, blah, blah. My mom said he was a bad guy. Yeah, of course. The reason he was 8 bankruptcies to keep his house, not making money with a green card or visa. I loaned him $12,000 to pay his son's tuition. Sure, bro. Last straw, threats of patent infringement, combat match bolt, which again is funny enough. Back in 2017, this is the bolt that I own now. The last straw was when I was hit with threats of patent infringement over the combat match bolt. He claims to have designed that belongs to another person. My engineer had no idea he was being asked to reverse engineer a patented part. I actually have the bolt and contributed to that, not understanding and taking photos of the extractor for a machine shop to make it, which is the bolt that I currently have, which I find funny. Remember, nothing is slander when it's true. This is all information that is easy to obtain. I even have the emails back and forth with the Metropolitan Police in the UK. Skeletons come out of the closet, but it is sad I had to learn the hard way. And like someone that was stabbing me in the back for years, if anyone wants to contact the detective and FBI on this case, I can give you case numbers if you would like to report anything, since they created a pattern with the rest of us. Now, that's fun. 2005, 2006, 2008, 2016 suing, 2017 gets exposed for everything. Well, fast forward to 2023 in October, when I actually meet PLW at TriggerCon. So he comes out with this new company called Victor, which he does not own, but it's in partnership, I believe, with him and Dave, right? So this is Haracha H over at TFBTV. Great article. I'm sure he was there with me at the time. I just didn't recognize him. And this is the VK1. So TriggerCon 2023, Victor Industries, a gun company from House Springs, Missouri, released a new piston-operated AR-15 designed in collaboration with PLW, who again was there, talked me through it. I don't think I was doing videos for the event, but he definitely talked me into testing out some of their parts, which again, I've had for quite a long time now. You can see it has his patented piston system in it. It's got an ambi lower. It's got some interesting stuff going on with it. The handguard's kind of neat. The bolt carrier has a adjusted cam path that's supposed to have, you know, the proper amount of dwell time and fixes all these problems, right? Luke, were you at TriggerCon 2023? I don't know who was there at TriggerCon 2023, but there were a bunch of other tubers there, but it's not as big. Is this a Dickens novel? It might as well be. Anyway, so Victor and PLW, they're doing their thing. They got some new rifles out. They got some new components out. Again, PLW considers this the improved version of the LWRCs. The LWRCs he thinks are the Mark IVs. The Victors he thinks are the Mark Vs. And so fast forward to November of 2025, a whopping 2 years later, Leitner-Wise AG official statement. So now this is in November 21st of 2025. Leitner-Wise AG is a leading privately held global company in the field of technology design and development and renowned for its innovations in patented firearms and handheld defensive weapon technologies. Effective November 21st, Leitner-Wise AG has ended its business relationship and patent license agreement with Victor LLC. The availability of Leitner-Wise patented components and weapons, including the Mark V, is unaffected by this decision and are available directly from us. This decision aligns with the Leitner-Wise AG commitment to maintain the highest standards of excellence and integrity in all business affairs and patent license arrangements. Yeah, and that's why you sued and lost in 2016. That's why you got arrested in 2005 for embezzling against LWRC, and why everybody has cut you off and sent you packing for the last 20 years.
Can't the guy have a little bit of fun?
20 years. Leitner-Wise AG remains dedicated to providing superior product innovations and technologies within the firearm industry. Our focus continues to be on enhancing firearms reliability and efficiency. But you are right, Dank. He is very much so like Alex, how he just keeps going. You just keep scrambling, you keep stealing, you keep moving forward. You keep going. Keep going. In 2006, Leitner-Wise AG will announce the development of several new products. I wonder if he'll be at SHOT. Probably not. Contributing to the next generation of handheld defensive weaponry, these upcoming products reflect our reflect our continued commitment to blah, blah, blah. Anyways, AI generated, we're coming back next year. We're going to have some cool stuff. Now, you can go onto their website, Leitner-Wise, Semper Vigilans, which should just be villains. I feel like that would be much better. You can go through his story, blah, 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 and some of his patents that he does own. Now, what's very interesting is I don't think I have the Victor weapons license picked up, or their website picked up. But according to Paul, he has revoked all of Victor's patents. So they are now no longer allowed to make more rifles. So I think Dave from Victor is kind of screwed, because he lost patent rights, all of his access to his patent rights with Paul. Paul has them. He's taken them back, taken them away, probably because business was bad. He wasn't making enough money. And so Paul's like, okay, well, I'm just going to make them myself. And by make them myself, I believe Victor was not making anything. I believe these are all aftermarket made parts, or, white labeled parts. Sorry. So Victor nor PLW is making anything, but he's just saying, hey, you no longer have the rights to sell these. So if you go to Victor's website, they still have some of these in stock. But other than that, they have like merch and a $4,000 2011 that just came in that I don't even think you could buy yet. So Victor is kind of like SOL.
Sucks for him.
Taking the patent rights to my attention span. True. Militaristic says Victor is the white label, a big OEM shop. So is Victor actually doing all of the machining? Because I was not aware if they were actually the machine shop, which is weird. I think Dave Ryback has a relationship with that other AR white label company. That would be my guess, is that there's a relationship there, because if Victor is actually making the stuff, Paul has stuff on his website. So this is Paul's website right now, and he has like, you know, blacked out coming soon pre-order his Mark V rifles, right? And now maybe he's just lying and scamming, right? Because he has a listing up. But how is he planning on making them if he doesn't have a white label to make them for him?
Just sell them, even if they don't exist. Sell them.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could do that, right? But if Victor is actually making them and not just another white label, canceling with Victor is miserable. Like, getting another machine shop to start up your patented designs in a short period of time is miserable because they already have other customers. So you're either going to have to pay them a lot of money to bump other customers out or whatever it might be. But it's to get it started up from scratch, miserable. Unless he's like, oh, I'm fine with doing a 6-month pre-order, right? So people buy my rifles for, you know, $2,000 and they just wait 6 months to a year if they ever get them. If they ever get them.
Never pre-order anything ever. Just don't do it.
Ever.
It's a trap.
Yeah, and so let me see if I can kind of show you guys what's cool. So this is a combat match bolt. This is the one that I have. So it has like, you know, the lugs themselves are actually bigger. They're made to the max tolerance. That's like heavy duty buffer retainer. Okay, it's kind of neat. Bigger extractor. Okay, that's kind of neat. It's like whatever. But they're long stroke. It doesn't even show it on here. There's not really a good picture of it. But this, if you don't notice, the gas key is actually done. It's actually longer slightly, and the path is adjusted to give it more dwell time, so it takes longer for it to unlock. Interesting. I mean, so Victor does still have a few. I can't show it on screen, but they do still have a few of their uppers in stock or rifles in stock for about $2,000, $2,500, somewhere in there. Militaristic says there's a YouTube video where the owner of Victor says he transferred the ownership of White Label to his sister so he could run Victor. Okay, so they're tied together. So not his, but yeah. Wisconsin. Boring. You say boring, but you're 2 hours and 15 minutes into a live stream with 550 other people. Even more if you count Rumble, right? So you can call it boring all you want, but you love it.
Yeah, you're still here.
You love it. You're still here, dude. We peaked right now, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how we peaked 2 hours into a live stream. You want something more exciting? Okay, fine. Here you go. That was the story. That was PLW. That was, as of right now, he's taking pre-orders. He's back in business. He's like, you know what? If you guys didn't figure it out 20 years ago, what'd you get? When I met him in 2003, could have pulled the wool over my eyes. I was like, oh, sounds great. Sounds nifty. I'd like to try it out. I think if Randy's still here, Randy has one, dude. Randy has one of these Victor rifles. There's a few reviews out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be different this time.
Luke says, I'm just here to support John. Oh, that's nice. I need the support. All right. Well, if you guys want something more exciting, how about even more political corruption, or not even corruption? This is just moral corruption. This is corruption of character. This is straight up evil. Okay. This is where, I want to know the total number. How much U.S. taxpayer dollars has gone to Planned Parenthood? That's another scam, but we know that's a scam. And I mean, that's
dollars too much.
I feel like that's one that people should be more upset about. You know, getting paid to fund abortion services, especially from a Christian paradigm, right? Yeah. Post-term abortion, one of the few things that I agree with in this post. So
what's the statistic? How much of Gen Z has been
31%.
31%.
Now, if you're black, it's like 52.
50. Yeah.
It's a coin flip or worse.
The most dangerous place in America for a black person to be is in their mother's womb.
But yeah, maybe this is January 1st. That's actually a good point. Maybe this is starting 2026 off with a good thing. So former Planned Parenthood director commits suicide after police raid his home in child porn case. The happy ending?
What? The Planned Parenthood director, aka sacrifice your kids to the
actually,
devil
you know
guy?
what? You know what? Listen.
What? Oh, he has.
I have a message. I have a message for the former director. Sponsored by the Focus Trip live stream. No way. Let me see here. There's a full article of this. Yeah. So this, and remember, this is the director. This is the guy in charge. This is the guy where you help fund his salary.
Color me not surprised.
Yeah. Well, it's a title. It's a title, so they capitalize all of it except for ins, right? Except for articles or something like that. That's how you do titles. Former Planned Parenthood director suspected of child pornography crimes was found dead by suicide Tuesday in New Haven, Connecticut, according to local authorities. The Blaze reports, Tim, you're gay? Is that how you pronounce that? Tim, you're gay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
He's gay.
Interesting. Killed himself 5 days after police raided his apartment as part of a child pornography investigation. You're gay. Worked at the abortion chain for approximately 4 years from 2018 to 2022 as the director of strategic communications for Planned Parenthood of Southern New England. An Instagram profile that Blaze identified as his shows numerous photos of his pro-abortion advocacy, including wearing a Planned Parenthood t-shirt and participating in pro-abortion events. Like how much more satanic could you get than like reveling in the death of children? This guy's like, I can do it. I can do it. I've got a way. I've got a way where I could be even more satanic than just reveling in the murder of children.
Yeah.
Bunster, it's an article. It's not my website. It's not what, like Discord or something. I don't have dark mode for websites.
What, you don't force dark mode on everything?
I guess I could force dark mode. I mean, I have dark mode on Brave, but I don't have force dark mode. It's probably really late and you're like, you're in your bed, your phone's like staring into your eyeballs, and this white screen comes on and just like flashbangs you. Yeah. Now listen, if you guys are asking, like, what's his phenotype? Where is he from? You already know. You already know. It's fine. It's fine. You know. You don't even have to ask anymore. Come on. It's 2026. The years of asking, it's over. It's over. It's over, dude.
Just in general, people who look like that should be hit in the face with a shovel.
Dude, I almost covered this today, but yes, Valhalla VFT, Mickey MGT. Valhalla VFT called out. Is it Nikki MGT? What's the military guy that makes fun of everybody?
Yes, Nikki MGT.
Nikki MGTV. Yeah, he's featured us on his show a couple of times, which I greatly appreciate. I like the work that he does. So where is it? 3 days ago, Candace Owen destroys this clout chasing ex Green Beret. Yeah. Now, Andre, did she just talk? Did she just have him on his show? Because I would really like that'd be very funny. Let me see. Where is it? What am I looking for? Candace Owens? Candace Owens? Did Candace Owens just have him on? Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes? No. Because it'd be really funny if she did. No. Okay, so you're just saying, because I know that she mentioned him on her show, which is in that video. Should we watch that video? That video is really funny.
Oh, please no.
It's where grifting goes to die, dude. Actually, we should.
So I'm probably gay.
What? 10 out of 10 opening. Thank you, Nikki. I actually need that clip now. I need that clip. I watched this, dude. It's good.
So I'm probably gay. We got death threats. No drinking tonight. I'm gay and my wife's a stripper. Probably true.
Valhalla. And it was kind of said to me in a way that was like, if you don't kind of take this rope, like, and jump off of this Mitch train, like, what's going to come out about Mitch is going to be explosive, and you're going to, like, go down on the ship.
Explosive? Gonna go down?
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
That's essentially the vibe that Valhalla was giving. First, he said stolen valor. Like, he was never a Green Beret. I was like, he absolutely was a Green Beret. I sent that up the chain in the government. Like, that's just not true. And it felt to me like they were clearly being quite aggressive with Ian on the phone, demanding to speak to me, demanding I allow them onto my platform, talking about his, like, ex-wives. I was like, I don't...
Well, so, okay, the reason why this is funny is because it is very, very obvious that Valhalla, VFT, Range Day Bro got some huge videos off of following Candace down the conspiratorial Charlie Kirk assassination. Like, it is clear as day, right? Valhalla before was streaming to like 1,000 people, and then he started streaming to 10,000 people, covering the Charlie Kirk assassination, all the conspiracy theories. Range Day Bro, very similar story with the videos and stuff like that, right? So videos, you know, getting some views, but not necessarily insane amounts of views, and then instantly switches to like something like a suppressor video, 1,000 views. Charlie Kirk update, 100,000 views, right? 6 Arc video, 10,000 views. Charlie Kirk update, 300,000 views. 500,000 views, 1 million views, 6.5 million views, right? 10,000 views on a regular video, 120,000 views on a Charlie Kirk video. It is so obvious. And I've talked to George. I met George multiple times. We've talked many times. I don't have a problem with George, but it's just very obvious that the reason why these guys went down this path, is because it's really good. It's really, really good for numbers. It's really, really good for money. They are essentially farming Charlie Kirk's death. Charlie Kirk, he's 6 feet under, and they're just, everything that's coming up from that grave, they're just farming it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So
if
let me
see number go up. You just keep on doing the same thing until it's.
Well, yeah, I mean,
working.
You know, it's like, what's the highest viewed video on this screen? Well, it's Candace Owens getting shot at. And so Nate has been trying to chomp at her skirt a little bit, right? He's like, I want to come on your show. You should talk to me. You know, every time Candace says something, he'll parrot it on his live streams. His live streams been doing insane, been doing very good, right? It's great. Okay. But you throw Candace Owens and they're like 610,000 views, 670,000 views, right? It's blowing out 1.3 million, 800,000. 900,000, 900,000. It's 99K. Charlie Kirk, 500K, right? It's murdering every other type of content that he has. Now, I want to go back to let me see when it happened, okay? Let me see okay, here we go. This is probably when it happened. So we see how many views you're getting on your live streams. 8,000 views. You know, that's like mine. That's fine. 30,000, that's really good. 100K, that's really good. 21, 16K. Charlie Kirk, 110K.
After Kirk.
Well, 110K, 80K, 800,000, 300,000, 300,000, 238,000, right? Then it starts to die down a little bit because, you know, live streams aren't doing quite a lot. 500,000 over here on Charlie Kirk. And then it kind of dies down a little bit. So listen, at his peak, he went from like, you know, 10, 20, 30K views a video right back here 6 months ago to 10x that. And then now he's still doing good, but he's somewhere between, 30 and 150K for a live stream. Just still good. Still really, really good views on a live stream. But you can see very clearly before and after that these guys were, I don't want to call it outright grifting because there's a chance that they actually believe in all of the stuff, but that's where all their focus went, and they definitely followed the money 100%.
Bro,
no doubt about it.
No, call it outright grifting. He had a thumbnail up there of Charlie being electrocuted. Call it what it is. It's grifting.
Wait, let me actually see that again.
Yeah,
Are we talking about Range
back.
Day, bro?
No,
Well,
no, no.
they-
At the
he did
very
too.
least,
The
No, Valhalla.
electrocuted theory.
Valhalla's it was awful. Can't believe what he's doing.
New proof. Yeah, okay. I think we watched some
a
of this.
lot of red arrows and a lot of red circles.
Yeah. But anyways, he's been following Candace Owens. Now, I think Candace Owens is a meme character. I think she's very funny.
Care about any of this.
Here we go.
They say history does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme sometimes. Now, we're going to get into the Green Beret, or I'll just use ex-Green Beret, because I don't think anyone's going to claim him part of the community after a lot of what's happened. Now, we need to dig into Nate, a.k.a. Nate Cornholio, a.k.a. Valhalla VFD, as we've done in past videos, because the story does not stop, as he's been exiled from the military veteran community by some of the top people. Now, we did not end up here just by happenstance, and it is by Nate's own doing. Throughout the story, we're going to cover the repeated use of infiltration, exploitation, and then finally the collapse of any trust that he's ever gained as he flip-flops in every sphere he's ever in. Now, only within the past 6 months, I was talking about Valhalla VFT and talking about the misuse of FOIA documents. We're going to talk about how he's used people such as Tim Kennedy for leverage, and actually maybe befriended at one point. Tim Pool, which by the way, befriended at some point and now is bashing him.
Okay, this is what happens on YouTube when channels start to die, and your own individual content starts losing viewership. What you do is you try to drum up beef with a big.
Now, what I think is funny is like my live stream and Valhalla's content, they're not like original content, right? They're essentially takes, news, reactions, right? But it's not like original content. My videos are original content, 100%. But like the stuff that we do like day to day, it's pretty normal. It's pretty normal stuff.
Name. You put Candace Owens in your.
His dad is a lawyer. I'll have you know. All right. All of the clips are in here. And in fact, I make an appearance in this video, as I should, because the best Nate crash outs are on my stream.
Your YouTube video title, you attack Candace Owens. Why? Because Candace Owens.
Dude, I remember that back in the day, dude. The Fine brothers trying to copyright react. Yeah.
What ethnicity are they again? Let's move on.
Yeah, anyways, moving on.
Owens' name garners all the views. I know. I've done it before myself. Okay.
So this is where it kicks off with the Candace Owens situation, because it appears that there was a tip or hotline email that essentially she received about this Fort base where they saw Erica Kirk, and kind of diving into, was there some conspiracy around Charlie Kirk's death and things like that. I don't want to hold this up. Watch your clip from the live.
Now, to be clear, right? Well, I think that a lot of these people are clowns when it comes to the theories that they promote, right? The electrocution theory, nonsense, the hologram theory, which is a real thing. There are people purporting that, nope, Charlie Kirk was a hologram. I've had people in this live chat right now send me videos that are like, nope, Charlie Kirk was a hologram. Sorry. He's not dead. He's somewhere else. Right? The exploding earpiece, the body armor, all of it. I've heard it all. Okay. It's all fine. I don't think it's like necessarily immoral to theorize about stuff or should be illegal in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Because you should always doubt the official narrative. Okay. You should doubt whatever Kash Patel is feeding you. It's probably wrong. Okay. Whether it's malicious or because he's retarded, you never know. But I mean, yeah, some of this stuff just gets a little wild. Okay. So it's fine to call out nonsense that the government gives you, but it's also very fine to call out nonsense that, you know, the griftoids give you. And this is a griftoider right here. Hard A, hard E, hard ER.
Totally freaked as in like very concerned, because obviously like I have a relationship with Ian Carroll, and to some degree he respects Valhalla. And he's like, look, I have his friend in the military. He has a YouTube channel, and he basically runs me through, and he's like basically saying that he wants to talk to me. And it was kind of said to me in a way that was like, if you don't kind of take this rope, like, and jump off of this Mitch train, like, what's going to come out about Mitch is going to be explosive and you're going to, like, go down on the ship. That's essentially the vibe that Valhalla was giving to Ian Carroll, and basically, like, kind of demanding to get on the phone with me. And I was like, and then he starts talking about,
I'll have you know she's married to European aristocracy, so her husband probably gifted her that hat.
first he said stolen valor. Like he was never a Green Beret. I was like, he absolutely was a Green Beret. I sent that up the chain of the government. Like, that's just not true. And it felt to me like they were clearly being quite aggressive with Ian on the phone, demanding to speak to me, demanding I allow them onto my platform, talking about his like ex-wife. I was like, I don't care about any of this. And I said to Ian, this seems to me like they're trying to distract me with stupid stuff. Like, if he has something that is concrete that like Mitch somehow defrauded me or lied and did like definitively was not a Green Beret, then please just have him email it to me. And I said, and if he emails that to me, I will deal.
It's sped up, yeah, because it's a 15-minute long video. Okay, so Jake doesn't want you to know this, Luke, but Candace Owens' nostrils are the portal to Bugartha. Okay, just saying.
How bad do you want to get there?
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it immediately. And I also made it clear to Ian that because they were like, oh, then like she could get in trouble for fraud because she raised money for this guy and he wasn't even like a Green Beret. I was like, first off, he never asked me to raise money for him. So the idea that he was doing this to defraud me for money, that came out naturally when I was live. I said I would do a give, send, go because I said people were going to start digging up things. Like I just had a feeling like I thought it would be other people, but I just felt like, oh, let's raise money for him. He had a tough life, whatever. And I had
now this. Okay, you guys probably don't even know, Dag. Are you familiar with this conspiracy theory that she's talking about right now?
No.
So she had a gentleman that was in the military at one point in time. I believe he was a Green Beret. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but anyways, he's a dude in the military, did a thing, right? He wandered in to a SCIF meeting, which is like, you know, high up security personnel, right? Top of the top on a military base somewhere. I forget which one specifically. And he just overheard them talking about killing Charlie Kirk. You know,
of course, that happens.
As you do. You know, in a room of like, I think 10 to 15 people or whatever it is, military people, by the way, military personnel, right? In a room, just, you know, casually conversing about how do we kill Charlie Kirk. It was either a month or a couple weeks beforehand, before the murder actually went down, before the assassination went down. And they were just conversing, you know? And then he, a month after Charlie Kirk's assassination, feeds this information to Candace Owens.
Yeah,
even though he himself has had a history of lying and being a con man, right? This is like Paul PLW giving you a story, right? Paul Leitner Weiss giving you a story about he knows.
That just sounds very, very reasonable. I trust this guy. I don't know what he looks like and I don't know what he said yet, but I immediately agree with whatever he has to say.
Yeah.
Had that court paperwork of what he was going through. So that was natural. And not only that, but the very next day, which I will show on my show this week, Mitch sent me an email the day after I started the Give, Send, Go. The morning after, he sent me and Skylar an email and said, thank you so much for raising money, but I do not want to accept this money from you. And he was very self-deprecating. He was like, I'm just a fat, ugly man, and I just wanted to help, you know, and I don't deserve this. Like, I basically don't deserve this in the public. And then I called him and I was like, you know, Mitch, this is kind of stressful. Like, I don't want to figure out how to like give people back all this money. And he was like, how about this? If the tip that I gave you proves fruitful, like if it's actually Ryan Harpole or it's Erica, then I will take the money. Otherwise, I don't want it. So he was never trying to get money from me. That whole, he's a fraud. He was trying to steal. Like, none of that is real. It's just completely made up. And again, I will drop the receipts of exactly when he emailed me the morning after.
So from all that stuff with Candace Owens, again, he's pushy, trying to get on her platform, show whatever he can, just like he did with some other things where he claims he's higher than he actually is in some of the latter of his information. Now, does this sound familiar to you of something I talked about only a couple months ago? The John McPhee situation where he had the FOIA documents, which by the way, were not FOIA'd, and Nate will not actually confirm that they were because he's too scared, because he won't admit that he got the documents from a bitter ex-wife, which by the way, he also got this document or these domestic violence things to try and prove against this person that could have some linkage or understanding if there was a true actual inside job against Charlie Kirk, including.
Have you watched this, Richard?
No, sir.
Oh, dude. You're going to be so excited in like 5 minutes. Trust me. I know it's a slog to get through right now. Nikki, I really appreciate you. I'm going to drop his link in the live chat right now. But listen.
This is awesome.
Listen. You're about to get Nate lore that you didn't even know was possible. Okay? You're about to get the Nate Homo Lavender theory. Okay? I'm calling it now the Nate Homo Lavender theory. Okay? Which is actually has a lot more factual basis than like 99% of the Charlie Kirk theories. Okay? Nate Homo Lavender. All right, here we go.
Erica Kirk, his wife, which would be insane. But the fact that like Valhalla's trying to discredit this, I'm just like, we don't care about domestic violence at this point because someone was killed. And because of this, we've seen some of the top tiered people in the military sphere that have said he needs to keep his business out of this.
How many people did you see that came from our backgrounds or peripheral backgrounds that started putting out the most bullshit information around that particular event.
Droves.
Who could it be? Who could it be?
What are you talking about?
Why?
Yeah.
Because it grew listener base. It grew subscriptions. I'm sitting there watching veterans talk about the ricochet off of his body armor and how I'm like, dude, you can see his nipples. He's like, and then people, millions, you know what I mean? So why did they do that? They did that because that's what they were going for, was the engage. And I'm not here to judge that, but let's also not put lipstick on a pig. Do that if you want to, but don't lie to me about what it is that you're doing. If that's how you want to grow your channel that way. But to me, I was a little bit shocked by the number of people that were putting out information that I would consider to be demonstrably false, and also for any level of critical thinking, false. And they were also rushing to make assumptions, which is something that we were taught not to do. You play the real world as it's presented to you, not what you want it to be.
So Nate makes an announcement. He's going to be considered a ballistics expert on the InfoWars channel with Alex Jones. And this is what...
Oh, dude, I also do love that. So it's like, I was in the military. I was a Green Beret, which is great. Fine. Fantastic. Thank you for your service. All that sort of fun stuff. Right. But it's... Being a jacked guy in the military does not an expert make. Right. Like what's funny is what's the word for a girl if she's a twink? Is there a word? Do we have a slur for twink girls? We need to have a slur for twink girls. But Boondock Ballistician has way more reputable information than somebody like Valhalla VFT, even though they're diametrically opposed physically, right? And on the surface, you might judge one to be wiser than the other in certain areas. Yeah.
What he says.
All right, everybody, I will be on.
A spinner, dude. A spinner. No.
Yeah.
That's funny. Spinner. Hoplifile, the term is wife. Wife, yeah. Spin. That's funny. Spinner. All right. Yes. The spinner, Boondock Ballistician, has more reputable information than I would wager almost all, if not all, Green Berets.
An Alex Jones show tomorrow at noon Central Time. We're going to be talking about the ridiculousness of the FBI story and Charlie Kirk's Man of Steel neck that nobody believes. All right. See all that. I'll give you a link in the story.
Now, you also have to check out this clip of his own backyard experiment.
As you can see, the cow neck vertebrae stood no chance.
Okay, now this is weird, right? And this is the one that I'm like, you're telling me you're telling me a human neck stopped this bullet? I mean, it's like, it's theoretically possible, like a 1 in a million shot where the bullet hits the neck vertebrae and then takes a 90-degree turn down. Like, it's theoretically possible because bullets do weird things sometimes. But out of all of the possible outcomes, I would imagine intuitively that seems to be the least likely outcome. Not saying that it's impossible. And it is also weird that it also happened to MLK, also with a 30-06, also hit his neck and didn't penetrate. So I don't know if there's some weird symbology going on in there. Okay, I don't know what that means to be shot in the neck without it penetrating, if that's some sort of like 33rd degree Masonic ritual that's happening there. I don't know. Okay, I have no idea. But I'm just saying it's weird. Okay, it is weird. It's very strange. It seems unlikely. It seems improbable.
A little bit odd.
Yeah. Pay the snuck at anyone for the T97. Yeah, and I mean, and I've seen people repeat this test like 100 times, right? Everybody was doing this test. It doesn't, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, well, Subarctic Psycho, you would even have to admit that it is theoretically possible that a bullet would deflect like that. Because if we shot a million bullets at a million necks, one of them would deflect weird, or like 100 of them would deflect weird, right? Because there's the opposite could happen. One could go up inside of his skull and like go all the way around his skull and exit his nose, right? Because like weird things have happened with like 9mm. Like you've had 9mm go in the skull here and then exit out like the back opposite side, right? Because it like skates around the inside until it finds its way out. Like bullets do weird things. Bullets do weird things.
There was one really interesting case that I watched on YouTube not too long ago.
6 million bullets is way too high. There's not enough necks. There's not enough time.
Nowhere.
How many shooters? If we have 5 shooters at a rate of, I don't know, 15 minutes for 5 years, we can't get it done. Okay, not possible.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's not possible. Yeah, even 271K sounds high, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds high. All right. Well, so you're right, but it's not a 30-06 from 153 yards isn't 3,000 foot-pounds. And again, we don't know what bullet. We don't know what we think we know the barrel length, right?
Could have been a shitty hand load too.
Could have been a shitty hand load. We don't know. We don't know. Could have been Bubba's special load and it was like half powder that day. No idea. No idea. We don't know. We have no idea. It's like 2,000 feet per second or foot-pounds. Sorry, but yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But now I would still point to this and be like, this seems strange, doesn't it? This is weird. This is very weird. What could now? I agree with you that it all seems strange and weird and highly, highly unlikely. But I would like to hear the what's the word? So I don't discount the theory, but I would like to hear your theory of what actually happened, I guess.
Ripped in half, and as you can see, even clean through, damage straight through the cardboard. Again, and you can see how thick this bone is, guys. It's almost 2-inch thick. Straight through. No problems.
So yeah, doing backyard experiments with your...
Now, wasn't it not the autopsy, but wasn't it the coroner's report that there was no exit wound? So the theory that I've heard, or what has been put forth, is that the bullet entered his neck, took a 90-degree angle, and then came to a rest someplace along his spine.
Pseudoscience, no idea of any physics or any degree in any mathematics of any kind.
Master's degree in business administration. Oh, we're on it, bro. Look at this.
Master in business administration.
Hell yeah.
I did not realize at the time how iconic these clips would be.
Experiments with your pseudoscience, no idea of any physics or any degree in any mathematics of any kind.
Master's degree in business administration. Oh, we're on it, bro. Look at this.
Oh, dude, we got Dugan's forehead in this video too.
To talk about the kinetic nature of a round entering, exiting a body, other than you have shot rounds at people, I assume, as a Green Beret at some point, does not make you a ballistics expert.
See, again, weird stuff, right?
He got cremated very quickly.
Right away. It's very strange, very unlikely. Why would you do that? That seems weird. That seems strange.
I just
that
want
seems
to know
very
what
strange.
happened.
See, that's the thing. Like, I agree. It seems weird. It seems strange. It seems like something up. However, if you go, he was like, well, actually, it was a hologram or he was electrocuted. It's like, well, now I got to have something for that, right? The lack of evidence doesn't support what you're saying. You know, I'm up for alternative theories, but I would like them to make sense. Yeah, business. Listen, as a guy with a degree, like, yeah, degrees are useless.
And let's start off where I left off last time, and that's because Valhalla VFT was like a little puppy dog with his tail between his legs and found out he needed to leave the community of the military vet bro space because essentially nobody wanted him anymore, and he was now pulling at strings to kind of throw anyone under the bus, and I exposed that. But now he's being exposed again. I was the only person willing to call him out from what I remember about the military sphere of the vet bro drama and the falsehoods that he tried to spread there. Now, when you go in the political...
Yeah, I mean, I think it works both ways, right? Whether it was Israel, all right, cool. They've never interfered with our politics before, or speakers or anything else like that, right? So, okay, that makes sense. Tranny weirdo who hated Charlie Kirk. Yeah, nope, that makes sense too. They literally advocate for, you know, the murder of right-wing political speakers all the time. Oh, that checks out. Mormon CIA sleeper agent. That's a close third. Close third, I would say.
And then
political sphere, there are a lot...
yes.
more people with a lot more ammunition to come after you. And it appears they're going after him personally. For example, this Twitter account by Project Constitution says, expose Valhalla VFT, aka Nate, exposed as a massive hypocrite. Attack scans for platforming abusers while his own wife was a stripper. Nate is the retired Green Beret behind Valhalla channel on YouTube, is going scorched earth on Candace Owens for interviewing a whistleblower with a troubled past, alleged domestic issues. Now, does that sound familiar? It does sound familiar. He is like, I am the token protector of children and women. Now, obviously, that is like saying, this guy is blue.
Tix Bomber says nobody finds it weird that there's not hundreds of cell phone videos. I mean, I think I've seen like 6 or 7, but I'm sure like if you went out and counted them, you could probably find probably 100. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think I've personally seen at least 6 or 7.
I've seen quite a few.
Blue. Everybody should want that. And that's not really a great stance for Nate to have, as he is falsehood.
Shut the hell up, bitch. Go.
Came after his fellow Green Beret, and then on top of that, we can't forget old Mike Glover. You remember when Nate Valhalla VFT decided to sit there and back up Mike Glover because he's a Green Beret and those allegations of domestic violence?
Okay, so the guy taking the camera down right after it happened, right? Weird. Okay, it's really weird. It's really strange. Okay, why we haven't seen that angle? It's weird. Okay, it's very strange. And then the other allegation was that the head of Charlie's security team also owns the pavement company that paved over the site where he was shot. Really weird. That's really, if true, that's really strange. That seems like a crazy coincidence, right? That's really weird. Really strange.
And he said in a comment he backpedaled, and I found that and dug that up. But Nate's never actually made.
Wait, so does she have that angle? Has she ever released that? Or is that on her Patreon? Because if she has that video behind a paywall, doesn't that constitute a snuff film if you have to pay her to watch that angle of Charlie Kirk's death?
Who knows? Candace Owens is always saying, like, I have new information. I'll release it at an undetermined time in the future.
Yeah. Allegedly sub to her OnlyFans and see,
made a follow back up around that because he does whatever he needs to do to be the slithery snake through the grass. They continue to say he's demanding the shutdown of the GoFundMe, return the money to victims' quotations, and basically cancel the guy, all while claiming moral high ground on abuse. But hold up. Receipts from 2017 show Nate's then-wife Brittany openly promoting VIP lap dances and private treatment at Club Rogue.
Now, I don't know why. Oh, I know why Nikki is doing this, but this part of the story is like hyper uninteresting to me. I'm like, okay, his wife was a dancer at a club like a decade ago. Like, that's different than, like, you know, spousal abuse. As far as I mean, I think they're both
somebody
sins.
in the military married to a stripper.
I mean,
whoa,
right? Color me shocked.
That's crazy.
But I'm like, yeah, of course they're both like sins and incorrect from a Christian paradigm, but from like an amoral or like an unchristian person who's just like has like a secular set of ethics or something like that. Like, yeah, they're gonna view one as nothing, if anything, right? The stripper stuff, the dancing stuff, like they're not gonna view that as anything. And then the abusive wife is like, okay, well, that's a big deal, right? And even to me, like somebody who abuses a wife is probably worse, like is worse than just like somebody who was a stripper a decade ago, right? I think that's, I don't know. Is that a hot take? I don't know.
A Portland strip club. She was posting lingerie.
Jake, that's so dark. That's so sad. I remember having a wife. That's so sad, dude. Damn. All right. Starting off 2026 with a black pill, dude. I remember having a wife.
Champagne popping, full stripper promo mode. Nate's calling out Candace for associating with someone accused of mistreating women while married to a woman literally selling her body for cash in clubs. Talk about hypocrisy. And the rumors. Old comments accuse Nate of a lavender marriage, cover to closet gay/bi lifestyle. Pics from 2017 show him super touchy with trans/gay friends, arm around waist, looking like he's about to.
This is the funny stuff because we have Macho Man, Macho Roid Man, Nate Conoco, whatever I forget what his last name is. Nate Valhalla VFT.
This one. Who knows a drag queen? Portland Pride parades, Halloween couples costumes, wife making out with women, bi vibes ? And him heart reacting to gay accusations. Plus, his dad Peter Stephen Carnaccia is a longtime government lawyer in Springfield, Oregon. Motive for attacking Candace when she digs into deep state / Fort Huaca stuff. Nate preaches zero tolerance for toxic men, but his circle and past say otherwise. Judge yourself. Screenshots attached.
Now, I gotta back up for a second. Sorry to jump scare you there. I had no idea what a lavender marriage was. Dave, do you know what a lavender marriage is?
I could take a guess based on the context I've been given. But
So a lavender marriage is where one or both people marry for convenience to dissuade ideas to cover up their homosexual lifestyle. Right? So for instance, if you're in a community that would look down upon you for that, which is like 99% of the world, by the way, it's only in like a few Western countries and
make it
a few people. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like your lifestyle is actually looked down upon by like 96% of the world, but it's only a few people in the West that are like, oh no, it's totally fine and normal.
Yeah,
but
I thought that was called a beard.
So yeah, a lavender marriage is simply to hide the fact that you're actually gay.
Yeah.
So screenshots attached.
And again, that's his wife from, I can't pause there. That's his wife from like a decade ago. Now can we skip? Oh, no, wait, go back. I do have to see that photo though. This is a Halloween photo from Nate without a beard. I gotta say, Nate without a beard loses like 100 intimidation points. Loses at least 100 intimidation points. This is
homo
a transvestite friend, I guess. Now remember, Portland area, all right, kind of part of the culture down there, I guess you could say.
You could say that, but I live in a very, very liberal area, and I do not go around putting my arm around fags.
So this is the Climax Drag Brunch, and this is Alia Nicole, which is that person in drag that Nate is leaning in to kiss with the gay black man in the back. Oh, and that was Nate's dad. That was Nate's dad appearance. Yeah. just yeah, most normal military guy ever. Are we sure he isn't Navy? You know.
Obviously, women can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is probably way too much information that you guys wanted on a Friday night. That Nate from BFT is, I'm not saying anything is confirmed. Okay, I've never seen any photographic evidence, but I'm just saying. Okay,
it's not looking good.
Yeah, Nate with the drag guy. Yeah, it's just weird. Okay, it's just weird that you're hugging the gay drag guy and leaning in for a kiss for a photo. It's just when your wife is like right next to you and you're leaning in for the kiss with the gay drag guy, gay drag guy. Do I need? It's all redundant, right? It's like it's just weird. Okay, it's like Charlie's neck thing. Okay, it's just weird. I'm not saying it's conclusive, but it's just weird. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. Skibbity toilet riz. Live Grand Thumb reaction.
Skibbity toilet riz. Okay.
Yeah, it's just weird. Okay. It's just weird.
For their jobs. That's not my stance. I'm reading these from other people's outrage to kind of cover the story. But they do make a valid point as I hate towards Nate because he is able to use these arrows. But for some reason, if we talk about Nate's wife, as he is in the political commentary sphere, where now people are playing with gloves off, it is interesting. Now, this person, Mr. Let's Go, says, here's my issue. If a man is getting called out for abusing women, what does someone's wife not getting abused have to do?
I think that's enough focus trip live stream for tonight. Yeah, it's probably more than you wanted. Vandally, I'm not gay. My dad's straight. I'm not gay. I have sex with men and relationships with women. Or I think I got that backwards. I have relationships with women and sex with men. I am not gay.
Means you're gay.
I got news for you, pal.
And I think it's retarded and gay. Okay? Gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do with abusing women. If Ahala didn't abuse his wife, what does her being a stripper have to do with anything? And the person...
Would you, Reformed Renegade, what is your problem? I'm not going to say that because that clip would be hilarious. Okay. Dank, you say it.
No.
In the Nate voice.
No.
Richard? Any takers?
No.
Richard fell asleep 15 minutes ago.
Well, can you read this in the Nate voice?
I don't have the Nate voice.
Just grizzly yourself like this, like, I take trend, rah, rah, I like
you already
dudes,
got the voice down. Come on, you got it.
Nah, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Actually, now that you think of it, John has a lot of gay clips.
With the original post this person says counter argument, what does Mitch's past have to do with this fort? Now, it is interesting because painting yourself in more the right sphere, let's be honest with this, America first, whatever else, riding the coattails of Nick Fuentes and trying to...
Also funny that he's associating with Nick Fuentes and the Groypers and saying he's a huge fan, unironically. Maybe he is a huge fan of Nick, but for alternative motives. I saw a meme the other day that was like the alt-right guys focus so hard on being alt that they forgot to be right. They're so alternative. Not very right though. He's a clout goblin. He's something else. Something else, dude.
Nate's infatuation with Nick Fuentes. That's very interesting though. Reminds me a lot of Rob O'Neill.
In a real country, you guys would be my concubines. Oh no.
Throw anyone's name out there essentially to get some kind of influence or some kind of likes on your video or whatever. It is interesting that you can think you can play in that realm, but you having a wife that did that.
No, he didn't. Anno Domini. I watched his video. So again, Nate's problem was that Nick was not delving into the Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories. And he's like, Nick, you're selling out, man. You're not following the electrocution exploding butt plug theory that I just came up with. Nick, you're really selling out to the feds here, Nick. You're really letting me down, Nick. I mean, I still like you, Nick, but you're really letting me down on this one. That was his whole video. He still likes Nick. He's just disappointed, okay? I still like you. I'm just disappointed that you're not following my conspiracy theories.
That is not the morals that people are going off of. I'm just letting you know right now. You got to realize people are going to come after you. Now, let's be honest. This is something that Nate has essentially done over and over again. He claims, I am all for accountability. I'm all for veterans and Green Berets being held accountable. But that's not true. And just like it's not true that he thinks all women and children should be protected, because obviously he would devour some of the things that he's come across and backpedal and at least make apologies or certain things as he finds out more information. I understand these are not fixed stamps in time. However, if you're going to be in this field and say that this is what you stand by, I'd expect you to actually follow through with that. Now let's dive into the Valhalla VFT photo op curse, as apparently climbing the social ladder is more important than anything else for Nate, because apparently if you take a photo with Nate, you will become an enemy of Nate. And that is the ego that is out there. Now, let's be fair. He has a photo with Tim Kennedy.
Isn't Ian Carroll also gay? It's like me looks inside of a right-wing influencer, also gay. Aren't they all gay? Why?
Have you looked at him?
No. Why are you also gay?
They're all
gay or Jew, call it.
Which he then made over probably 20 videos against him, which are like, wait, I thought you guys were part of the same brotherhood. Couldn't we handle this not on social media? Nope, not the way it was. Now let's dive over into the political commentary where this photo op curse continues again, as he had photos of him and one of the founders of Black Rifle with Tim Pool. Now, it is no secret that he did come after Tim Pool and tried to act like he was higher than, saying Tim Pool's views have pretty much dropped. So what is this? The same playbook every single time where
Please, Poop Dynamics.
You get the endorsement or a photo op with somebody that you think is higher than you, you get that photo, and then you then go on as you climb social ladders to essentially then berate these people later on. I would say this is no better than being the
Listen, okay, I don't know Nikki's positions. Nikki is a drama dude, okay? He's just like me. He's just like me. He's just like us, okay? He follows the guys and he points out, hey, you guys are being hypocritical. You guys are being silly billies. You know, you guys are being little dummies. All right, here you go. This is funny to me. And he calls out people who are doing scams and stuff like that. But I mean, he's essentially like a drama channel. Like that's what he does. He's a news drama channel. There's a million of them on YouTube, and he focuses more on the vet bro community because I think he's a veteran himself, and so he focuses in on this stuff. You know, it's like one of those guys. I don't know any of Nikki's actual positions, so I'm not going to attack him for any of his positions. He just does reporting on stuff, and I find, because we've had Nate on the channel, we've had Nate versus Trench was top 10 moment of all time. It's just funny. That's just funny. And he put out a good video, and he compiled all this information for us to laugh at. So we should thank him for that. Well, exactly. Nikki is anyone not explicitly right wing and not gay is by definition gay and left wing. Okay, gay until proven otherwise. That's what I say.
Political commentary, Dan Crenshaw, as you have stepped over people and essentially not actually, look back and look to be a guiding hand for anybody else. Once you climb past a certain level, you now throw people away. I'm so glad that Candace and various others.
Okay, that would be even funnier if he's not a vet, but that's the only community he goes after. That's even funnier, honestly. That's actually even funnier. Yeah, because he does a lot of stolen valor videos. So I just assumed he was at some point in the military. And like, this is his shtick. It's like, oh, I go after, like, other people go after other, like, locales. I'm going to go after military locales. Like, okay, that's cool. That's fun. It's new. You have some insight into it. Cool.
In another sphere, pillar of content creation is checking this Nate Valhalla VFC situation, because they know when someone's eager. They know when someone's trying to just climb up the little ladder to try and make sure they're climbing the social structure, dude. You're no better than a Dan Crenshaw in a, I guess, political commentary space. Whatever. But yeah, Nate, I'm glad you're getting canceled. I'm glad people are finally catching on to you.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki. Really appreciate the video. Lee Hendo says most of these people that are such hardcore fame seekers are gay. There is something so narcissistic about wanting to be popular and wanting to be the biggest and the best that makes you a little gay. Okay. So like one thing that I had an issue with, like the real problem that I had with Nick's Stalin take was that he was talking about he was so envious. You could see the glee in his eye when he was talking about the power, right? It was like that what was the cool part. Just the ability to control so many people's lives and to change the country.
So many men.
to change the world as he sees fit, right? It's a little gay, okay? It's a little gay. Poop Dynamics says to check my DMs. Always a dangerous thing to do on stream, but I will do it for you, Poop Dynamics. Okay, let me see here. Where is it? Where'd it go? Oh no. Please. Okay, you did allow me to save. Okay. All right. All right, Nikki, this isn't me. Okay, don't get upset. This is Poop Dynamics. Poop Dynamics. Masters in penis. That's good. I can say it now. Faggot alert. Faggot alert. Faggot alert. He's a fag. Biggest boy. Faggot alert. That's good.
He didn't make
That's
his
good.
face round enough.
His face, yeah. Can you blow it up a little? His face needs to be a little more round, okay? Also, there can't be any hair coming out of the hat, can there? No, it's receding hairline, bro. The hat stays on, okay? There's no hairline here, Poop. Come on, Poop. No hairline. Unbelievable, dude. I can't critique art like this. I should be nicer.
For shame.
Hang on. He's gonna redo it instantly, dude. Okay, so we're 3 hours into a live stream. So I still have this plan rolling around in my head, but I am going to pay Poop Dynamics and a couple other content sketchers in the gun industry, or at least related to the gun industry, to, what's the right word when they do the art for like a narration? There's a term for it.
Story time.
Story time. Yeah, whatever they're going to do. They're going to do the artwork for a video that I have coming up on the GunTubers. Okay. GunTubers Explained, using Poop Dynamics, GSB, and a couple other artists, hopefully, to do all of the artwork for the video. And it's going to be in meme format, so it's going to be complete nonsense. It's going to be lies the entire time. It's going to be me making up stories about all of the GunTubers and all their exploits. I think it'll be a good time. I'm still working on it, storyboarding. Not hentai, Jake. Not hentai. No. That would be this one right here, okay? That would be this one. It will be
once you get to T-Rex arms, though.
Yeah, once we get to T-Rex arms, that would be hentai, and that's not happening. But I'm gonna have them do it. Jake's feet, Uma Masume? No, I'm never playing that game. Never happening. Okay, where are we at? What are we doing? We're done with the stream. We're getting out of here. We're gonna read your guys' super chats and make it funny and have a good time and have a laugh at a few people's expense because they deserved it. Over on Rumble, Bushmaster says people who work in Hollywood are evil / retarded heights who are scared of guns and have no concept of how they really work. True.
Yep.
Very true. Thank you for that. Over on Ko-Fi, let me pull this up real fast. You guys have been insanely generous tonight. Thank you very much. Great 2026, and I hope we're all going to have a great 2026 together. All right. Fiber becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Very base of you. Appreciate that. Drainpipe says, I know knee grows that are on time more often than y'all. That's you're not wrong there, sir. Rob says fake, gay, late, and obsessed with skinnies. We do talk about Somalis more often than we would like. We would like to never have to mention them ever, but since they live right next to me, yeah,
if they weren't here, we wouldn't have to say anything.
So since they live right next to me and steal $20 billion from me, I kind of have to talk about them. Lightspore, raped Sunny to death for 3, says this entire situation is my counterpoint to when people say we can commit ethnic cleansing. I'm just saying, if we glassed Somalia in the 90s, none of this would be happening. That's actually a good point. That is a good point. The Covenant were right. Okay, if you have the infidels around, if you glass their planets, they tend just not to come back. Gideon,
big glass parking lot.
Gideon for $20 says, "Happy New Year, Happy New Year to you, sir. Although I don't make it to the streams often, I appreciate all the content you have put out this year. That keeps me informed and entertained while on the road." Well, Gideon, you are doing the actual hard work out there, doing the real work that Americans need to be doing, not H-1Bs or anything else. So we greatly appreciate your support, both financially to the show and to the American economy. Blessings. Christ is king. Christ is king. And off to a good year for you, sir. Gideon also became a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Appreciate that. Sabartic Psycho on Ko-Fi says, "It's January. It's dark. It's minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm pissed. Time to fire a missile." Sorry, tie me to a missile and fire it at Tel Aviv. I am ready. There you go. Minus 20, dude. You are a long ways from Tel Aviv. Sabartic Psycho says, "John, I've shot a deer in the neck with high-powered rifles. I've seen other deer shot in the neck with rifles of all sorts of calibers, especially 30-06. It shatters the vertebrae and makes a big-ass hole every time." Well, let me see if I can find it real fast. Logan sucks at shooting. Says, "Bullets do weird things sometimes. My dad shot a deer once, square broadside into the heart and lung area, and the bullet exited out of the deer's rear leg. He was also using 30-06. And this is what I'm talking about." So Sabartic over on Ko-Fi says that, listen, 30-06 never does weird things. And then over here, Logan has firsthand experience of a 30-06 bullet doing a weird thing in a deer.
Yeah,
so it's
99% of the time it might not do that weird thing. But
99.6, 99.7, like it seems rather unlikely. But again, bullets at times do weird things. Thank you for the 10, Logan. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. All right. Lightsport for 2 says, "So is the LWRC guy a Reform worshiper or Somalia?"
Yes.
Reform. Yes. Sorry, Lightsport. Kim Jong-un for 2 says, "Where dad woody woody booty be?" Man, he is onto it. Wait, did he just repeat all these super chats or do we have them here twice? Kim Jong-un again says, "She, we was daycare owners and shit." You were. You were indeed. You still are. Unfortunately. We have things to fix about that, okay? Sabartic Psycho for 2 says, "This guy sounds like a real jerk." Mr. Paul Leitner Wise of formerly LWRC, formerly Lightning Weiss, and then whatever their new company is, and Victor, and he's been around, okay? Amrite Boy for 2 says, "Parker Hale used to make high-end guns and air guns." They're the British-based company, right? Interesting. There are some companies that you've never heard of in the UK and some of these other parts in Europe that do make like super high-end firearms, but they're never going to get imported to the US or be made in large numbers. Thank you, Amrite Boy. Bloodbase for 10 says, "DHS is ruining all of our best meme edit formats." That's the thing. They get the meme culture. They get what they're supposed to say, but they're just not doing any of it. That's the gay part, right? They want to take credit and be like, "Oh, we totally get you, fellow kids," while not doing what we want them to do. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bloodbased. Lightsport for 2 says, "We shouldn't deport Omar." Well, see, okay, the moderate option is reimmigration, whatever you guys want to call it, okay? I had somebody, all right, you were like, "Man, it's actually supposed to," no, I don't care what time it is, okay? Or what word it is, right? But yeah, that's the moderate option. The right-wing option is much more efficient. Thank you, Lightsport. Lightsport for 2 says, "You're going to make Hawkeye crash out in DC, in VC, maybe also Washington, DC, if he ever gets there." But, okay, I'm just saying.
Maybe he should.
Hawkeye tells a lot of stories, dude. A lot of stories, bro. Thank you, Lightsport. Pistolero Jesse for 5 says, "I married my wife in 2008 in Japan. The process took until 2010 to get the visa. Visas for American marriages are different from all others." Interesting. So you're American, I imagine. You go to Japan to marry a Japanese girl? Now the yellow fever. All right. Understandable. Very understandable. Process took until 2010. Still 2 years. Still 2 years. Thank you, Pistolero. Modern Frontier Project for 2 says, "This reads like a leftist manifesto." Oh, the Well, I think it's written by a woman. Okay, so Gaslight, Girl Boss, and Gatekeep. That's what I was going to say. Gaslight, Girl Boss, and Gatekeep.
The never-ending story.
Central Sans Defense for 2 says, hey, you pronounced my blessed state correctly. Wisconsin. Hey, I'm from Wisconsin. You want to hear my cheese curds? They squeak. Andy Ray for 5 says, Skibbity Toilet Riz just got grilled by Candace Owens. He's been getting grilled by lots of people.
Skibbity Toilet Riz. Okay.
Gives a whole new meaning to the term grilled. Gloop, member for 2 months, says, how about those dogs, huh? Yeah. Yeah, got those dogs in him. Nate's got those dogs on him, in him, around him. Paulie B for 2 says, imagine caring what Candace Owens thinks about you. Yeah, Candace Owens, that's always like kind of the funny part to me is like, we get to watch like literal millionaires make millions of dollars off of somebody's death while other multimillionaires and billionaires get away with it, right? Whatever the real story actually is. And you and I, we just got to like look around at all this weird stuff happening and be like, well, you're probably never going to actually know the full story. We want to know the full story. We want the truth, which is why so many millions of people pay attention to all the conspiracy theories and all whatever it is, any updates, they're hungry for it. We want to know the truth, but unfortunately, the real truth is that we probably won't ever have all of the pieces.
All we get is bread and circus and Funko Pops.
The bread is stale and the circus is boring. And Funko Pops were always garbage. Light Sport for 2 says Nick VFT versus Camden 1v1. Both get a 40. Yeah. Candace is going down. Your Black Queen is going down, guys.
Well, isn't that her natural weapon?
Pretty sure her natural weapon is something a little more hands
You don't
on.
get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
Yeah, Poop Dynamics has a good point, though. All parties involved are going to hell. Yes. There will be permanent justice, just not here on the earth. So, spoiler alert, read the back of the book, Christ is King. Andrew A. for 2 says, Nick does cringe ending crazy eyes. So, yes, a lot of people talk like this and they're really close and they just like lock on, right? And they this is how they talk to people. And it's like they have the upspeak voice at times. And it's weird. Like, did you see when this happened? Indeed. Thank you, Andy Ray. Lightsport for 2 says, I don't know what's going on, but I hate all 3 parties right now. True. Yeah, I mean, that's the good position to have. Whatever is happening, just hate everyone involved, and you'll probably be in the right. Thank you, Lightsport. Andy Ray for 2 says, cows don't want you to know this one secret tip. I don't even know what that's in reference to, but cows don't know a lot.
Vertebrae.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy Ray. Lightsport for 2 says, any army man marries a dancer. Also, water is wet. Yeah. Many such cases. The birds is the word. The bird is the word. For 5 says, high school drama never ends. You freckin' fags. Get DM. Yeah, well, it never does. 2026, new year, not new us. Nope. Nothing ever changes. War never changes. Whatever Fallout Man said. Andy Ray for 2 says, skibbity toilet jizz. There he goes. I said it. Skibbity toilet jizz. Said it again, unprovoked. 2026. Focus Trip's wife for 5 says, John can't be gay because he has 2 wives. ... Or maybe he has double the hide. Why wasn't I allowed in Washington, sir? Lots of gays out there. That's actually a good point. I did lock you in the basement for 2 weeks and go to Washington State, which is known for gays.
And you do have a beard.
Wait, is having a beard gay? Or is being clean shaven gay?
It's playing on the...
Oh, Pacific Northwest? That's true. That's true. Thank you, Focus Trip's wife. Appreciate that, Anna. I was going to get you a pizza, but no longer. Not for you, thank you. Not very nice of you. All right, well, hey, guys, I think that's it. 3 hours and 15 minutes into our Friday night. Being Catholic is gay? That's not true. That's not true. Richard, what do you got going on, homie?
Let's see. Tomorrow I've got the Aero Cope Rail coming up.
Oh, that's right. I'm excited for SHOT Show this year. Should be some fun stuff going on, dude. Also, so Focus Clips, linked it in the chat. Click on it, subscribe to it. That's where all of our fun stuff comes out. Little bite-sized pieces for the people with shorter attention spans, which is totally fine because I totally get that. You know, watching a 3 hour and 15-minute live stream for essentially 3 things that you might actually be interested in could be a little tedious for some people. So there is the Clips channel for that. Dank, what do you got going on, homie? And thank you very much for giving up some Friday night to hang out with us. First stream of 2026 with Dank.
I gotta go to work tomorrow early in the morning, and after I get off of work, I'm gonna continue working on my workshop. That's what I was doing all day today, and it's what I will be doing this entire week.
Good. Heck yeah. Got something constructive to actually do. Shut Chipmunk asks for the Discord, so I will go ahead and put that in the chat for you gentlemen as well. Be warned that if you make it through, Hawkeye is camping the voice chat, just waiting to yell at whoever gets there, okay? So there's the link.
Tell you about his carbon fiber. He will tell you a story.
There will be many stories being had, and I will leave it up to you to figure out which one is true or not. James just got in. He asks if we... Oh, sorry, where did it go? I missed it. He asks if we looked at the T-Rex Labs video. So no, I didn't actually want to look at the T-Rex Labs video. I just thought the thumbnail was funny. So that's why I put it in there with the Miku and Titu hugging, because it's like kind of degenerate, kind of not. So I just thought it was funny. So that's why he's there. It's because I thought it was funny, not because we actually wanted to look at the video we put out. Andy Ray for 2 says Night Rangers beat Panthers. I imagine that those are sports teams. So congratulations. And then I see Light Sport coming in at the end. Wow, way to start off 2026. Hopes for 2026. Less Richards. All right. Is that a good heart? I don't make these very often. Is that a good heart? Hearts. Less Richard.
Wait, you got it. I need the
move the mic out of the way. Do you want it down here with the smile, or how do you want it?
Yeah, right there with the smile. Yeah. Perfect.
I don't know. Take your pick. Okay. James hopping in every 5 minutes to try and catch when we're talking about the T-Rex Arms Labs video. Never talks about it. He just watched 3.5 hours for nothing. That's
why you got to catch the Clips channel, James.
That's right. That's right. It'll always eventually be on there. Again, Jake is just here to fight with other guys in the chat and call them gay. I think he likes it. I think he likes being called gay by other people in the chat. It's fine. It's fine.
There's one more thing that he likes.
You don't get to ask those questions. You don't get to ask
That should just be the outro for every stream now. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching, hanging out with us, having a good time. I will see you all in the next stream on Monday. Will there be Mike Michalski? I don't know. Have a good night. Christ is King. God bless.